Yeah, layman apologists, cooking the saints, cooking the coach. Ink still heavy when the page get thin. Truth don't stutter when the noise rush in. Same breath spoke the void to form. Still pressed kings in the footnotes warned. Cross wasn't drama, it was law enforced. Judgment met mercy, no appeal in court. Blood hit wood, death got voided. Grave tried leverage, miscalculated. Stone rolled back, not for escape. Just proof death failed to seal the case. Crowns corrode, doctrines fray. Truth don't age, it outlasts decay. If it need add-ons, ethics seals. That stress cracks, not hidden depth revealed. Fire don't change, goals intent just shows what was counterfeit. Christ is king.
Truth don't flex, it calibrates. Planes fold when the pressure breaks.
Christ reigns now. Christ is king. Christ is king.
No revisions, no update. Same word judge every age.
Christ reigns now. Christ is king. Christ is king. Word still cuts through the static rings. Light don't bend for the aged meats. Christ reigns now. Christ is king. Christ is king. Long stay sealed, no in between. All things weighed when the balance swings. Christ reigns now. Christ is king. Once delivered, never patched. No late scroll slid through the latch. If the gospel need human glue, you telling me the cross came up short for you? Sheep hear voice through signal jam. Gold don't fear the program scan. Light don't argue, don't persuade. Just step in, let the false decay. Gold plates bend, black stones mute. Added books can't hold the truth. Scales come out, myths go thin. Truth one piece, not discipline dependent. If it fractures under open sight, that ain't mystery, it lacks spine. Same word held when Rome pressed steel. Still standing when the empire kneels.
Truth don't flex, it calibrates. Planes fold when the pressure breaks.
Christ reigns now. Christ is king.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is me, the layman apologist, and I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Gabe. Gabe, how are you, bro?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Very stupid. I forgot my camera's off.
Oh, that's funny. Oh,
Gabe
hey,
and
at
I,
least you look at the camera. I spend most of the time because I see you on this side of the screen. I'm trying to look at the little corner right here so that it still looks like I'm somewhat looking at the camera.
yeah,
I don't think I'm going to break the habit of looking at the person on the screen when I'm talking to them.
to be honest, I don't think you really need to be looking at the camera all the time. Now, maybe if you're doing a video, yeah, it's probably better to look at the camera. But like, I can't always look directly at the camera anyway, because like I have other monitors around me that sometimes I'm looking at, especially if I've got like other tabs pulled up or like notes or something. So yeah, but I guess if like you're constantly looking off like this, it's going to look a little bit bad. But speaking of looking better, Gabe, I now have a new camera. It is not plugged in tonight. Um, but for the nighttime streams, this is fine because I've got my light on here and I don't look too grainy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have noticed, I think I pointed out to you before as well. Mr. Livian's here. Good to see you, bro.
Mr.
I think
Livian.
I pointed out to you before. I am looking very grainy on a lot of my videos.
Yeah, especially when you
Um,
pull yourself up into full screen.
yeah, and it's weird because like the MacBook camera is not meant to be that bad. Like it's 1080p, but I realized what it was. If I sit in the darkness, which obviously I'm doing right now because like it's nearly 20 to 2 my time AM.
Mm-hmm.
So this light is not enough because like obviously then the camera like tries to introduce like ISO or something. I'm not up with all the tech
Yeah.
stuff. So it starts to make me look really grainy. Well, I figured out now with my new camera, it also does the same thing, even if I have it on 4K resolution. So
Mm.
during the day, I have to make sure I stream in really, really good light. For these nighttime streams, it's not as big of a deal. So I'm not plugging in the camera tonight because I just operate on my Mac, and Mac's
Yeah.
only really got two built-in USB-C ports.
Ah,
So I need an adapter because unfortunately, by the time I plug my mic in and my camera in and my monitors, there's not enough space. And even then, like the adapters won't fit. Or, sorry, not the adapters. The actual cables themselves won't sit flush. So
yeah.
yeah, gonna need to upgrade a few more things.
Yeah, dongles are always kind of a standard thing with any
Yeah,
Mac owner. I mean,
yeah,
really need them with my laptop. I got a little laptop, and it's just USB-C and one USB-A port. So,
Hmm.
but
Yeah. Well, the good news is we've got plenty of fun stuff planned for this incoming year. Had to update people in the last stream too, Gabe. Just let them know like we do plan on going live with Muslim Collins. We just want to make sure everything's set up beforehand because right now I am just running a far better setup than I used to have.
mhm.
But every time I go to test something, I realize, oh wait, I can't use that if that's not plugged in, and so I need to upgrade a little bit further. But we'll get
Yeah,
there. We'll get there, and your channel is hopefully coming very soon as well.
hopefully, I want to have it out by the end of the month, but
Oh, middle of the month. Nice.
I have a ton of stuff I want to have out by the end of the month. I wanted to have the Trinity Bible update fully out
Hmm.
by like last week, and then my servers went down for some
Oh yeah,
power
yeah,
issues that they were having. First, I thought it was that whole cyber attack that Verizon was having. I was like, oh,
yeah. I
didn't
heard
realize that
about
they
that
were
actually.
associated with Verizon. They're not. It was just a power outage at their
Ah,
data center. So
lovely.
yeah.
Well, the good news too, though, but is whilst it was annoying for you to do that, it meant you could finally tackle some bugs that you'd found previously. So,
No, I mean I was already tackling that. Like the thing's been way, way, way smoother. I
oh,
have added
nice.
there's one thing I'm gonna change about the feature I added. I added a RSVP, which is that
Hmm.
I don't remember the exact acronym, but it's that stuff where the text sits in the center of the screen and then flashes, and it just goes from text to text. That way your eyes aren't traveling all the way across.
Hmm.
Because some people like that because when you're reading like that, well, when you're reading a book from side to side, I
Yeah,
think the average person's reading speed is like 300 words per minute, something in that
average. Yeah.
ballpark.
Hmm.
And then, but if you put them to the normal, it's just being flashed in front of them, that ups to like 500 to 800 easy.
Hmm.
And I've seen like the faster people are up in like even the 1200 mark. So
Which I
it's
did one recently
insanely
that only went up to like 900,
Mhm.
and the thing about it is like I made it all the way to 900, but that's not even something that you can brag about because even within the video itself, like it tells you it's not so much now like you're reading as in like your brain can like see and comprehend the words. The issue though but is the comprehension. Like the majority of people that could read at 900 words per minute and actually then repeat back to you what they read, that's abysmally low for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
the ability to actually read at 900 plus words per minute is a true skill if you can actually comprehend it. But like the majority of people can read it as in like yes, their eyes will keep up with the text and they'll pick out words here or there. So
Mhm. Yeah, and that's
whatever.
kind of what I was reading was it was a very small amount of people. They got up to just under 1200 words per minute and they were still able to comprehend. But after that, they just couldn't actually tell you what it was saying. And that's especially when you're talking about the Bible, that's what really matters is not just reading the text and just
It's the comprehension.
being able to go, "Hey, I read through the whole Bible." It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of actually comprehending what you actually read. But yeah.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. My dog, he for Christmas, like some of my family bought him like it's known as like an eating mat, like you hide treats in it, and it's got
Mhm.
like all these like little inserts. He has tore off one of the carrots that was on the mat, and he's just walking around the room with a carrot in his mouth.
Hey, carrots are healthy,
Not
especially
that
for
type of,
dogs.
not that type of carrot.
I know. I'm just joking around saying
I know. I
carrots in general, they're good though. Not a stuffed carrot or a plastic carrot, whether it's
know. Well,
plastic.
anyway, Gabe, before people, we're not going to have a huge audience tonight. Not that we ever really. Well, we get decent numbers. Like we've had 300 odd watch before. Um, we're not going to have as many tonight because a lot of the big dogs are live. Like Avery just ended. IP's currently live. David Wood and IP's live. You said.
Yep.
Okay, so we're definitely not taking any other audience tonight, but that's okay. We stream. Obviously, we enjoy it. The other thing is
Mhm.
the good thing about streams is people can catch up on them later. But we have done enough rambling of ourselves tonight. You haven't tuned in to hear us ramble. We are actually going to address a situation that I watched live And it irritated me immensely to see what was happening. Now, Gabe, I sent you the short version because there's no point going through a 3+ hour live stream.
Yeah.
But I sent this to you earlier today. So before you and I get into talk about it, let's give the audience a recap. Although the majority of people in this circle is probably already going to know it. A lot of people recently have been talking about, the whole thing with Sheikh Uthman, or as he's known by all these other aliases like Ibn Fibbin and Sheikh Uthran. We could go on for days with this man's nickname. He keeps putting out these phony callouts, all to just direct people towards his own channel. Because when you look at his views are bad. And
Yeah.
the only time he actually gets decent numbers watching is whenever he says, "Oh, I'm going to be debating Sam Shamoon, I'm going to be debating David Wood," all of this. So GodLogic, over the last fake debate, GodLogic found out what dates he's still going to be in. I think he's San Diego. I can't
I
remember where
no
it's
way.
San something anyway. I think it's San Diego. So GodLogic was like, "Oh, cool, you're free in that date. I'm actually I'm gonna be able to drop by." So he goes to Balboa Park, where Uthman's normally known for having his one mission stall. So this entire 3 hour live stream, GodLogic obviously is like sharing with different Muslims, and he eventually gets up and he goes over to where One Mission Foundation stall is. To which there's a guy there that, like, even in the live stream, like he basically concedes the GodLogic. He's like, you debate these bigger guys, like, look at me, I'm not, he says it himself. Basically, he's like, I'm not fit to debate you, um, which is an interesting concession in itself. But again,
Well, at least he's humble enough to recognize that.
well, that's what I was going to say. Again, I would actually commend anyone. That's like someone saying to me, "Hey, would you go and debate Sam Shimon?" Now, I have a lot of things where I would look at Sam Shimon and go, "I don't like his behavior and stuff." But like, could I hold my own in a debate with Sam? No, no. Like that's silly. I'm not going to sit there and be false bravado and be like, "Oh yeah, I could take him on a debate." Depending on what the topic is. Dude's knowledgeable. There's no doubt about that. But where this gets interesting, and what we'll get into, and I want to hear your take on this because you saw the shortened version.
Hmm.
This guy still engages logic, though. He's a sheikh, and he, this is not just my Christian bias speaking here. Like, I think an atheist or like a Hindu or whatever, a Mormon could watch that debate and go, "Okay, yeah, the guy was getting cooked by logic. Like, it wasn't good." However, there's a guy in the background that inserts himself to try and bring up a hadith, but what he actually shows is like ChatGPT. So Logic basically says to him, "Go and get the actual source," because we all know what AI is like. It gives you false quotes.
Yeah.
So the guy never comes back, but you constantly see him in the camera, and now he starts to try and irritate GodLogic's wife. Like, he's shoving his phone in front of her face and the camera. He gets way too close to her. So, like any good husband, GodLogic basically steps up and says, "Dude, back off." And like he has to move him, but like, even by witness testimony, it's not like GodLogic manhandled him or anything. He puts his hand on his shoulder and he basically says, "Look, dude, leave my wife alone."
Hmm.
So we're gonna look at Life's video. Life is the guy that goes. He operates GodLogic 2.0. So he
Oh.
he he debates Muslims as well. Now, he uploaded this video because he wasn't there, obviously. A lot of people are bringing up the fact, maybe GodLogic shouldn't have had his wife in that situation or whatever. I'm not even going to debate that, because at the end of the day, his wife was with him on travels.
Hmm.
If these men could control themselves and not get so intimidated by the fact that they can't hold their own in debate with logic, that they now have to start, trying to intimidate his wife, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But before we get into the video and react to it, I sent you the shorter version. What's your thoughts on it all?
Well, are we going to watch the clips, or are we just sending out a
I
reaction?
think I think Life's video, let me check, is only like 20 minutes. So like, we're normally live for at least 2 hours anyway. So I think we'll
Huh.
get through a 20-minute video even with us pausing and talking.
Okay, so I kind of just figured that you had clips set up, and I was going to share my thoughts on that as we're
Well,
going
we're,
through.
we're, we're going to as we
But
go through, but yeah.
to give like a general review, I mean,
Mhm.
I think that the whole thing, at least from what I saw, was just overblown. I mean, the guy, okay, he got maybe pushed away. He got his phone taken away from him.
Mhm.
Oh,
We
whoop de
see that
doo.
that
I mean,
that that's a lie. That by the end of it, gets exaggerated. So the because you'll always get people that be like, oh, you're clickbaiting with the title or the thumbnail or whatever. No, these guys called the cops on Logic, and the sheikh who was there as a witness, he lies like on camera to defend his own Muslim brother, and
Yeah.
he essentially tries to say you pushed this man into your own wife. Now it's very clear in the camera he was not pushed into, like, Logic's not going to push someone into his own wife. Like that's just silly. So
Yeah.
it just goes to show you that in situations like this, tribalism always takes over.
Yeah.
Like I would honestly like to say, heaven forbid that something physical happens, but I would honestly like to say that if Christians were in that same situation, they would at least own up and say, look, he grabbed the dude's phone, which he did because he had every right to do because he kept shoving it in Logic's wife, sorry, in Logic's wife's face.
Mhm.
But this narrative then that the sheikh comes out with, oh, you pushed him into your wife. Like, why do you have to lie like that? Like, why do you have to add that in just to protect your own, Muslim brother? This is the thing, and we're going to get into this. I have no hatred towards Muslims. I do have a hatred towards Islam. I hate the religion. Flat out,
Mhm.
just hate it. I'm not going to apologize for that. I have Muslims that I talk to offline. There's one comes into our book club study as well. Lovely dude. There's no issues with him because he's not there to, you know, harass anybody. He's not there to, put anybody down. He wants to come and see why we believe. That's fine. Like, that's welcomed. But whenever it comes to the whole Dawah thing, these guys love to proclaim, Islam's so peaceful, it's so truthful of this, but then it's like all of that goes out the window for them, where it's like, okay, we're losing this debate. What can we do to distract Logic? I know, let's intimidate his wife. Like, what
Yeah.
type of scummy behavior is
I
that?
I mean, the thing is, you have most like secular or everyone kind of falls back to tribalism to some degree.
Hmm. Hmm.
I hope that I can stand above that, and I think I've shown that in that
Yeah.
on X and various platforms where you'll find me. I'll even shove things right in the front of my own guy's face. So I'm a
Hmm.
Lutheran. If I see a Lutheran out there saying something incorrect or wrong
Yep.
or teaching something falsely, I'll put it
Hmm.
right up in front of their face and be like, "Hey, you're not correct. You need to shut
Yeah.
your mouth."
Yep.
And I would hope that they would do the same to me. If I do
Hmm.
the same thing to whether you're Lutheran, whether you're any Christian, I will gladly correct you on it.
Hmm.
Um, I try to be above that, but tribalism is just one of those things that it always does take heed into people. People
Oh yeah.
always are giving into it.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't want to touch too much on like the American political side, but I think there's some really good examples of it right now going on in American politics where you have people are watching the same clip and they're literally
You're
going,
never safe in Living.
"He didn't say the Southern Baptists were safe." Oh, yeah, I don't waste the time of correcting a Southern Baptist. That's like trying to talk to a brick wall.
Yeah, well,
Sorry. Um,
that's all in good fun, Gib.
Indeed. But no, like there's political stuff going on where, like, I was having a debate. It was really just an argument with one of my friends, and he was watching the clip, and he was like, "See what they did?" I'm like, "You're watching a 2-second clip, my guy."
Is this clip though?
No, 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 it's not this
Oh,
one.
okay.
It's a different clip. It's the political reference. I'm like, "Yeah, but if you watch the full clip," and I show him the full clip, and he's like, "Yeah, that didn't happen." I'm like, "You can watch it happen right here. It literally, the thing I'm telling you happened. You
Hmm.
can watch it." I'm showing him the clip, and he's like, "Yeah, no, it didn't happen." I'm like, "You're lying to me. You are literally watching it happen. Now you're lying to me." And he's like, "No, no, no, it just didn't happen." I'm like, "You must think I'm either blind or like you're literally telling me not to trust my eyes right now."
Yeah.
And it is just very disingenuous, and it has me very upset in when I'm in those conversations. But that's the
Yeah,
thing
well,
is,
it's a form of
especially
gaslighting.
when it's political or especially when there's other stuff going on, people just will always do that.
Hmm.
And you'll see it with Muslims, you'll see it
Hmm.
with Hindus, you'll see it even within Christianity, though
Yep.
I would not want to see it in Christianity. I think we should stand above that and be better
Hmm.
than that. You'll see it with atheists too. I mean, It's a very common thing within religion, culture, any sort of practice. People will take their side.
Oh yeah.
So I fully expect that type of behavior from people.
Yeah. I I would not deny that there are Christians that would fall into tribalism. Like we see it X as a prime example. Now that's social media, so like we can maybe distinguish a little bit, but what you see in person versus what you see online sometimes is very starkly different.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I'm not saying this is true of all Muslims because I don't believe it's true of all Muslims, despite some of the things I say sometimes. Because, like, I really do think the most faithful Muslim is the type of person that acts exactly like the Dawa guys, because a lot of them practice their religion exactly how we read it in the Quran or the Hadith. There's a lot of deception, there's a lot of insults going on. It's very rare that you would see a Muslim acting differently, in my opinion. So whenever it comes to this idea of, and we're going to get into the video now, but you can see this dude very clearly, constantly, like life counts it as like 5 or 6 times within the live stream. This dude purposely tries to like get right in front of Christina, like Logic's wife, and
Hmm.
it's like really like you couldn't hold your own in a debate with him, so now you're going to go and intimidate a female. Now, name me a Christian out there that would do that.
I'm gonna need a moment.
Yeah, like
I know one. I found him.
I'm not saying. Well, before you say it, I'm not saying it's not possible. Because again, Christians are human; they're sinful. They might get heated. They might, whatever. But what I'm pointing out is it's not common of Christian behavior, as where this type of behavior is common of at
Oh,
least
yeah.
the Dawa scene anyway.
Hmm.
Intimidation tactics are incredibly common. And if they want to get to you, if they want to set you up, because I honestly do believe, and Life talks about this as well, we'll see it in the video. I honestly do believe this was a setup. No, I'm not saying it was planned from the get go, but it was certainly like concocted mid drama.
Yeah.
Because you can see a lot of what's the word, collaboration.
Orchestration. Oh.
Yeah, a lot
Yep.
of collaboration starting to go on. But anyway, sorry, Gabe, you said you were going to name someone, and then we'll get into the video.
The one, the only, Mr. Unlivian. I could totally see him doing this.
Well, yeah, yeah. We all know.
Jokingly. I
We,
don't
we,
actually think Unlivian would go around and
we all
harassing
know
a
when
woman
Livian
or a
kicks
man's wife.
bunnies and things, so you know.
Yeah. But wait, who was it? Was it Mr. Harper who had the child tied up in his basement or something?
Let's,
Jokingly. It's
yeah, I was
not
going to say
really
let's
actually.
put a little bit of context on that. Anyway,
All
let's
right.
go ahead and get into this video, folks. Let me know. I think we only have about 20 watching, which is not too bad. But Livian, you're only commenter so far, so let us know. Does this look okay? Like, can you see it this way, or would you guys prefer it to have on the bigger screen with me and Gabe smaller? So before I play it, let us know.
Yeah, it hasn't caught up on my streams just yet. So
Yeah, there's like
uh, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and see how it looks.
yeah, like I've watched streams like this before. It's watchable. It's more just the fact of sometimes people prefer to watch the video that's being played on the bigger screen.
Yeah, especially at the parts. Like for this part would probably be fine, but if we're gonna
Yeah.
be showing the parts where, you know, the guy's getting all up in their face, then that's pretty important to have.
What about this? That's better.
Yeah, that would probably be way better. Right now I'm looking at it and it looks
Yeah.
really small. All right,
Well,
that looks
Hope
way
Family
better.
Bindery said looks good, but I'm fairly sure he meant that about the previous one. And
Yeah.
Sko said she is watching but cooking. Nice. What are you cooking, Sko? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure we'll be pausing them better. Pausing them better. I'm sure we'll be pausing a lot. Hope
I
Family
got his
Bindery
setup
also
like
says that's
that.
better. Nice.
Look at his setup. He's got all the neon lights and everything. I gotta get something like that.
Bro, I know. Like I'm working with like a plain bookcase behind me at the moment, but like this is a
I'm working
temporary.
with my living room behind me,
Hey,
so
hey, don't knock it. As long as like we'll get there, bro. We'll get
yeah, what
there.
I gotta do is I gotta get rid of that fish tank. Oh, not fish tank. That's a lizard tank thing. I had a pet
Well, if it's a
lizard.
lizard, I hope it's not in a fish tank.
Well, I have a fish tank. It's over there. It's just all the fish died like 4 years ago, and I just haven't gotten rid of the tank itself.
Hmm.
But
Well, before we get into it, Hope Family Binary said books are the best backdrop. They are, but I would prefer a much nicer scene than just plain walls. But for now, until I get into a better living situation where I can actually get my. I used to have a really lovely office. I no longer have that, sadly. So, you know. Sko said she is cooking some beef barley soup. Ooh, nice, especially the beef.
this is actually my setup, guys.
Until you start moving, you now have to sit really, really
There
still.
we go. Yeah.
Especially that cowhide ESV reader set with the Amish made box. Yes, that is indeed a beautiful. There we go. Had to make sure that's pride of place. Anyway, Gabe, let's go ahead and get into this because this is a 20-minute video and you know what me and you are like when we start talking. Audience, I'm going to play this for like 10 seconds and pause it. Just let us know how the audio is first and foremost.
Now y'all know I'm not about to play with y'all. We finna just get right into it. They done called the police on my boy GodLogic, and now
So before I continue, we'll let the audience know, or they can let us know rather, if it's nothing should have changed. But like uh, I was saying to Gabe off studio, I think I'm going to switch from EV Mux over to Streamyard because they do have a better setup. So slowly phasing things out here on EV Mux, and you will probably see your first call-in show whenever we're on Streamyard. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it
Sounded
goes.
fine to me. When I
Yeah.
just played it back, it sounded fine.
And if you want a really nice mug to drink out of, folks, you can always get the old lemon mug, or we've got a ton of mugs over in the store. But Gabe, a
I
member
don't have one on me
recently.
right now.
Don't worry about that. We can pull the store up later. But a member recently asked for their children if we could get some dino merch. Now I'm a huge dinosaur nerd. Well, not in the sense that I know everything about them. Like my knowledge on dinosaurs is very, very limited. But I mean nerd as in like I just love dinosaurs. I think they're cool. So we made some very cool dino mugs recently. So if people want to get those, they're actually discounted if you buy them at a bulk. So buy them in a bulk. I mean buy the 4 pack versus individually. So
Yeah.
Gabe, I think we've lost all our audience. No one's commenting.
Yeah, it seems like Mr. Oblivion has just
He's
abandoned us.
probably painting fingers. But anyway, I think they can hear anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this. YouTube, once again, Life does not strike anybody for using his material, so this is fair use of copyright. Do not strike me again.
Yes, we're reviewing it for educational purposes.
Well, that's the
For
thing. Their
using it.
own, yeah, like their own setup tells you if you're adding critique or commentary to it, you're free to use it. It's just they have an automated system where if they detect someone else's like uploaded content, they're just like, oh yeah, flagged, and you have to appeal it every time. But the
Mm,
worst thing about it is like we're not monetized here yet. I hope we will be in the future because it'll help what we're doing. It'll help get equipment and things like that. But we have got the subscriber numbers right now, which is great. We do not yet have the watch time, but that's understandable. Like I haven't really been uploading to YouTube regularly. This year's the year I'm going to, so we'll get there eventually. Especially when we start doing live call-in shows, that always attracts people. But what was the reason I brought that up? Oh yeah, the monetization. Can you imagine what it's like being a monetized channel constantly getting hit with copyright infringement?
oh, I mean, kind of, but that's part of the reason why I don't necessarily share a lot of this, but I did a lot of musical stuff where I would actually compose
Hmm.
music, and I made a lot of royalty-free stuff that is available on Pixabay. So that's a place, and I did that same thing with a lot of like backgrounds, photos,
Hmm.
assets, because I ran into that where when I was trying to do YouTube stuff as a cool little unique teenager, I was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be so cool. Everyone's gonna be like, wow, Gabe's the coolest guy in the world. I was not. I was a
Well, you,
nerd.
you 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 uploaded a vacuum video that got a lot of
Lawnmower video that got
lawnmower,
a
whatever.
lot of views. Yeah. Now that video, it's still up. People keep telling me it's useful all the time
Well,
and that they appreciate it.
we're gonna have to review that lawnmower footage at some stage.
Go
But anyway,
ahead.
let's
Feel free.
let's go ahead and get into this video.
Now he has to go to court. But let me show y'all something. Pay attention to this guy right here. Now,
Take a look at him, Gabe.
I'm
This
looking at him.
man is the peak of Islamic scholarship. You will see. I'm not sure in this video because I haven't actually watched the short version yet. I watched the live stream, but whenever he brings the source up to Logic, he hides where it's from. That's why GodLogic's like, "What's the source? What's the source?" So he eventually scrolls up and Logic sees this ChatGPT, and Logic's like, "Just come on, man, seriously."
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
the conversation was getting a little tricky. GodLogic was destroying all of Sheikh Uthman's dawah boys. And then the conversation starts to go left field when one of the Muslims starts talking about David Wood and the situation that he had. That's when a fight almost broke off with the brother name of Omar.
Say what you said about the mother. Say what you said. Did he sleep with a 9-year-old?
no, this gets brought up because like he already said it, but it's brought up, with the whole thing with David Wood and his admission. No, David Wood did that when he was an atheist. He doesn't excuse the behavior. He obviously and clearly has repented of it. He condemns it. Every other Christian condemns it. But what gets brought up time and time again by these Muslims is, and the funny thing is, Gabe, they cook themselves with their own objection because they'll say things that what David Wood did was, PDF. And it's like, okay, now what about Muhammad and Aisha? What are you going to say there? Like,
Yeah,
there's
and
no
that's
there's no consistency.
and I think you'll see in this, since you haven't watched a shorter video, it doesn't really highlight too much of that. He's definitely taking like smaller clips out,
Yeah,
but that seems
in
to
the
be
live stream it does.
exactly what Avery is actually debating on. He's saying, "Okay, you have a problem with that? All right, yeah,
Yep.
I have a problem with it too. Here's Muhammad doing the same thing,
hmm
but arguably even worse, speaking that Muhammad was not only far older. Remember when that
Yeah.
happened with David? He was 18 at the time. He was
Yep.
pretty young, 18's young,
hmm
and it doesn't excuse him, but he was 18, he was an atheist
Yeah.
versus Muhammad, who is a very religious, devout man,
hmm
and is like what? How old was he again? 53?
53. Yeah.
Yeah, so 53 when he married Aisha. Waited
Well, no,
3
I think
years.
it was 53 when they consummated.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll say he was 50 when he married Aisha.
Yeah.
And then 53 when they consummated. It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it
No.
any better.
And again, it's still not a 1-to-1 because let's go ahead and argue that David Wood did this when he was a Christian. The Muslims would have more of a point there. You could look at that and go, okay, yeah, that's especially unbecoming of a Christian. But
Mhm.
again, that would move it now into a different category because now we would have to discuss, is David Wood still fit for ministry, all that type of thing. But this is something David did pre-Christ. Again,
Yeah.
no one's excusing it, but it's not as cut and dry as people try and make it out to be. And the very thing is, like, David's freely said, like, not even going to get into this here, but like Malik with his whole, doxing people, he is currently like he's just digging the hole deeper for themselves. Him and Central Dawa did a thing where they brought on a Muslim girl who claimed to be David Wood's victim, and they,
Mhm.
altered her voice, but Giant AOC ran it back and, unaltered the voice to where you can very clearly hear um Malik's natural voice, so you know then that the woman's voice that you're hearing is also her natural voice. She's not a Virginian born woman. Like, it sounds like she's from somewhere in like Central Europe. She's got a very distinct accent. And Malik's own chat pointed this out too when they were live. Like, they called out Cora, who's a Muslima over in TikTok. I don't think it was Cora, but it's interesting that whenever your own supporters are like, "Oh, dude, come on, this is very clearly not the victim."
Yeah.
So, but
And before we move on,
yeah,
I do have one point to make also. Like another key difference, and I thought you were going to highlight this, is that Muhammad he's he's put up on a pedestal as the exemplar or as the example
the
to
example of all
all of
mankind.
humanity.
Yep.
So if any Muslim, straight up, if any Muslim looks at what David did and said, like every Muslim should have been like, oh yeah, why would we care? We're upset that you didn't, marry her first. Like that should have been the issue within Islam.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, the Muslims are all saying, "Oh, he's a PDF file," when if okay, he's in during that time as an atheist, he was doing a better job at following the teachings of Muhammad than most Muslims.
Yep.
So, it's like, come on, man. You can't just if you're gonna bake a cake and you're gonna eat it. All right?
See,
You can't, or if you're gonna make a bed, sleep in it. You can't
yeah.
just have your made bed and not sleep in it.
Well, you see, this is the thing, though. But this is where I say this is why I don't apply this to all Muslims, because, like, unfortunately, whenever you watch Christian lives and stuff, like especially the call-in shows, and you do get Muslims calling in, the majority of them, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory sense, the majority of them are parroting arguments they've heard from their favorite Dawa guy in their lives.
Mhm.
So they call in and they're like, how many chickens, how many gods died on the cross, like all these like really nonsensical arguments. And the moment a Christian exposes that not only are you making a category error, but you actually don't understand the metaphysics behind it, they just resort back to John 17:3. Only the Father is God. And it's like,
I was gonna
really?
say, that's usually something I see from the Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, you'll see it from Unitarians as well. Like it's an incredibly bad argument, because even if you weren't a Trinitarian, that understanding, like that reading of it, is so poor. Because like if what was being said there, and I don't want to get too sidetracked, but if what is being said there negates the Son and the Spirit, the English would read differently. It would say only the Father is the true God, but it doesn't. It says the true God is sorry. Where's my Bible? See, look, it didn't even give. You've got me off on a rant.
I'm sorry.
I go off on a
But
rant anyway. Don't worry. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. I've been going through this Bible recently, topically. This is one of my favorite Bibles. I'll show this in a minute, because I guarantee you, Hope Family Bindery would be interested in this.
all right.
Right, so John 17:3 says, "This is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God." Now, does the only true God negate the Father, or sorry, the Son and the Spirit there?
No.
No, because it would have to say only the Father is the true God, but it doesn't say that. It says the only true God, and then look what it says straight after, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent.
Mhm.
So you mean to tell me that to have eternal life is to know God the Father and the Son? Interesting. That's an interesting hill you want to die on. But anyway, going off that, because we're getting way off argument. It's just silly that when they bring these objections up. So going back to what I was saying, like I don't include all Muslims in this, but the Dawa guys either are genuinely so slow that they can't comprehend logic, or they know exactly what they're doing and they're content to try and mislead their audience, because what they're hoping you will do is you will look at that and go, David Wood calls the prophet a PDF file, but oh, David Wood slept with a minor. So they don't want you to make the connection to Muhammad anymore. They just want to say, oh, he's a hypocrite. He did the exact same thing.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's say David Wood was a hypocrite. We condemn that. We condemn sleeping with minors, but that also includes your prophet. But the Dawa guys want their audience to cut off at that point. Don't make the connection back around.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just it's hard to say. I think that people just willingly ignore that, but it's also because I want to think that people are better than like including Muslim people. I want to think that they're better than that. But
Mhm.
again, I can sit down, watch a video with my friend, a coworker right next to me. We can watch the video in its context and see the exact same event happen. I
Mhm.
can highlight the event, point it out to him over and over and over again, and he goes, I never saw that. I don't see
Yeah.
that. That's not what happened." And it's like, dude, it's on video on multiple angles from
Yeah.
multiple cameras. This event happened.
There's
And
sorry, go
it's
ahead.
just people are just so willing. Like, I don't even think it's I think it's like forceful blindness. Like they tell themselves, "Nope, that's not true."
Well,
And they
that's
do that
that's
with
what I was
Muhammad
gonna say.
especially.
It is a blind list though, but because that's why as much as we can do call-in shows and stuff like this, we also have to realize that what we're operating here is it's in a spiritual realm in the same sense. I can't reason you into the Christian faith because someone will reason you back out. Like that's I would say badly reason you back out, but it's still possible. Whenever you're
Right.
dealing with
I
the
don't think
spiritual, sorry.
I was gonna say I don't think that there's like an actual good, reasonable reason
No,
you
no, no, no. But
are
what I mean by that is you can be reason like you can be convinced of bad logic. You can be convinced of a bad argument, and like how many times do you watch videos where it's like, oh, I was a Christian, I went to church, I did XYZ, and then someone pointed out John 17:3, and I'd never read that before, and you know, oh, now I don't believe that anyone's God. Like you get really bad arguments like that. So that's
Yeah.
that's what I mean by like I can't reason you into the faith because there is an element of the faith which is spiritual. Like God has to grant you life, right?
Yeah.
So in this same situation, whenever you look at this, you have to realize like it's so easy for like apologists to get frustrated with like Muslim colors, and I'll flip that too. I can say diees can probably get frustrated with Christians because they're probably looking at that and going, "How do you not get this?" There is an element where you can say this is a spiritual element because that's true, but the point that it really does boil down to is this is why we have to leave the work truly in God's hands. Like, we're here to tear down every argument that raises itself against Christ. We're here to show you that Christianity is logical. But that's about as far as the apologist can take you. But I
Mhm.
think too many people, especially even on our own side, do get caught up in the whole, how blind are you? How can you not see this? That's part of the point. They are spiritually blind. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's get back into the video because we actually haven't got into anything that's happened yet.
Maz, chill. Say what you said again about the prophet. Hold on. Look. Chill, bro. We're gonna do it like this. This is good. Use the stick. Look. Use the stick. Here's what we're gonna say. You can extend it, close it, whatever you want. Attack the Prophet Muhammad. I can just repeat what the Muslims are saying about.
So before this gets taken out of context, Logic, because I've seen a few people say this already, Logic was not telling her to use the stick as in like to beat people off. It's a selfie stick. He's saying extend it out so you can get a better view or, put it in. Why? Because you're about to see this guy here in the white. He's going to come up to Christina in a moment's time and get way too close for comfort, right?
Mhm.
But currently, Logic's telling her to use the stick because basically she's moving around, trying to get a better view. Logic sees that and he's like, hey, just use the stick. So before anyone lies and tries to say Logic's inciting violence here, he wasn't.
I mean, I agree with that, obviously. That's just what was going on. But
Yeah.
let's say he was saying use the stick. And he's telling her, hey, don't be afraid to defend yourself if someone
Yep.
attacks you. You're in the United States.
Mhm.
We have what's called the Second Amendment. That means, I'll put it like this. If you're messing with me and getting all up in my face, I've got way worse than a stick to mess with you
Mhm.
back with. All right.
Yeah.
I've got a stick that has, a little range to it. I've got some really sharp sticks. Don't, you don't crowd up on me.
Yep.
That
Well,
said,
yeah,
we'll get to a
that
point
would
and I'll
be
share some extra
yeah,
info on that. 'Cause I
sure.
want to give people ideas, but
Yeah, no worries.
yeah.
But I think it's just clear to point out that yes, self defense is obviously appropriate. We'll see this in a moment, but because I've seen Muslims already trying to spin this and say that Logic, because at this stage nothing physical has happened, they're trying to spin this and say, oh, Logic encouraged his wife to use the stick, meaning hit them. He did not. You're lying. Very, very simply.
Hit them with that flimsy plastic
Okay,
stick
dude.
that's
If you
holding
had a
the phone.
fly with a selfie stick, the fly would walk away unharmed and the stick would be bent.
Yeah.
Your wife. Would you?
Not, wow.
I'm asking you. Would you? Are you gonna condemn him? No. You're not gonna condemn him? No. Then I don't condemn who's speaking about your wife. Okay, cool. I don't condemn that. I don't care. I'm gonna promote that. I don't care.
So look at that, right? For those that don't know, Malik is doxing Logic. He's already done it. He's put up bikini pictures of his wife from when she was a young teenager, and he's sharing that around the internet, for Muslim men to, ogle at. And you can go check this out yourself in his own lives. Nothing but Muslim men saying things like she's our wife now. That tells you exactly their intent. So this dude here, I can't make out his name because it sounds so different multiple times. It sounds like he's saying mass, anas. I'm not sure what his name is, but anyway, he's getting all head up right now because he asked Logic, "Do you condemn David Wood, ripping up the Quran?" To which Logic says, "No, not in this context, because he's doing it in response to Malik, who's doxing not just men but women." So Logic saying no, and I agree with him. Like that, that's perfectly like if you're going to do that, yeah, I'm going to rip your book up. I'm going to do worse to your book. But anyway, you see how this dude gets so head up now because someone in the crowd just said your prophet's a PDF in response to the old David Wood situation. Look at how het up these Muslims are getting over that, right? So they don't want their prophet insulted, but that means that their other guys are free to go around, bringing up bikini pictures of people's wives, stocks in their home location. Like we all know, there's nut jobs out there that will show up to someone's house with the intent not to have a cup of tea.
Hmm.
So why is it that on this Muslim side that he's allowed to get head up over that, but Logic's not allowed to stand back and say, "No, I don't condemn David Wood for ripping up your book"? Like
It's
how stupid!
double standard.
It's just
I mean,
never mind
the
a double
standard is
standard. It's
old
just
as time itself. It's rules for thee, not for me.
mm-hmm,
Right?
mm-hmm.
It is the whole God, you are being unfair for kicking me out of the Garden of Eden.
Yep.
Right? You broke the rules. You got kicked out. That's that's how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, more than just getting kicked out, but still, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a error in human reasoning that's been around for as long as we've existed. So,
Exactly.
mhm,
But you can see like this Shaq's trying to calm this dude down because like he realizes like yeah this is getting like at this stage, what started off originally was Logic there with there's a couple of Christian dudes behind the camera, where Christina is. They weren't getting involved in the topic. It was Logic and the Shaq. Look at how many Muslims are now around Logic.
mhm. Oh,
This
that's normal. I mean, like
Oh
when
yeah,
I've
dude, you
gone
should
out.
see. You should. Oh dear, sorry. You should see Speaker's Corner over in London. It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been at Speaker's Corner in London, but when I do even go to like these small mosques around here, and I'm standing out just talking to them, I will have a lot of them kind of swarm up around me, and
Yep.
that's part of the reason why I don't. Funny enough, I don't actually ever carry when I'm actually at doing any ministry work or just talking to people. Like if I'm around a mosque, or if I'm around a mosque, I will basically always have my weapons away and gone. Shouldn't publicly say that, but I do because I've had the cops called on me so many times.
Oh yeah.
Like you'll have like it is hilarious. You're standing on the sidewalk 100 feet away from the building, and they
Uh-huh.
freak out calling the cops because some kid walks up and you're like, "Hey, you want to have a conversation real quick?" And you just have a conversation with him about like the Quran and about the Bible, and you can run through the Islamic dilemma. You can
Yep.
answer any question he might have and just work through it with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
but they get so hung up that they will swarm you and they will call the cops on you.
the swarming specifically is how it starts because they're not doing anything violent yet, but we all know what it's like. Like if you're a man, and never mind, like a woman in this situation would be even more, fearful for a woman. But like as one dude, you've got multiple dudes standing around you. You already know, look, something could go pear shaped here, and I don't really have a clear exit. So thankfully, a few people spoke to Logic, like because Logic apparently for the longest period of time was, like saying I don't want security or whatever. Thankfully, I watched the stream there tonight. He's saying he's now going to get security, which I think is a good idea. But Gabe, like even if you look like if you go to like Surah 6 in the Quran, right, and you go to 108, it says this: O believers, so he's speaking to Muslims, O believers, do not insult what they invoke besides Allah, or they will insult Allah out of spiteful ignorance, right? So what's been said there, Gabe? What's Allah telling the Muslims to do?
Don't insult them because they're going to insult Allah.
Yeah. So don't. So basically, what they invoke means their gods or whatever. So don't mock the Christians. Don't mock the Jews. Why? Because now they will spitefully mock me. They will spitefully mock Allah. So whenever you get Muslims coming around insulting Christians, insulting, Jews or whatever, they then get so worked up whenever we retaliate by saying something like your prophet married a 9-year-old. That's just factual. But yet
Mhm.
they get so worked up over that because they know what we're saying whenever we say your prophet married a 9-year-old. Because here's the thing, you can't marry a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
But yet these Muslims, Gabe, they don't even obey their own Quran. Their Allah tells them, do not mock what others invoke, lest they mock me out of spiteful ignorance. So why is it, Gabe, that these Muslims constantly go to, oh, your God pooped, your God died on a cross? They want us to mock Allah?
That's what it seems like. I mean,
Sure
that's
seems
the
like
other
that to
thing
me.
is, since obviously anyone who's following us is going to have an overlap with David Wood. That's the whole reason why David eats the Quran. When he
Welcome
stands
on
up
Minge
and
Momo.
when he says, "I'm going to eat the Quran," he always prefaces it with, "I'm going to eat this because you did this,"
Yep.
and he always cites Surah 6 when he's going, like always.
hmm
So
Because
for
it's true.
like any
You,
Muslim who's just again, I think that one could just be subscribed to. They're ignorant about like basic because that's just basic human behavior. Oh, you're gonna make fun of my God. Okay, I'll make fun of yours.
it's fair
Right?
game at that stage.
Yeah.
It's
It's
fair
kind of
game.
like how I mentioned the whole LZIT thing. I'm like, hey, I won't use it as long as you don't like as long as you give me the ability to, wield various, you know, contextual things, then okay, I can
hmm
wield those. If you are going to remove that from me and say, no, I don't care about context, I need this exact thing right here,
Yep. Yep.
then okay. Well, then Muhammad had a lot of fun with the amount of LZIT.
Yep.
So,
And the same thing is too, Gabe, because I get this a lot. Like I've had to remove a lot of yeah, I'll just say it. I've had to remove a lot of Muslims from the comment section because the Muslims that remain on my channel, like as in the comment sections, you can go and see my replies to them. The moment they insult God, Jesus, Mary, anything, I will insult in kind. Right?
mhm,
You look at the Muslims that reply to me with an argument. Now, it may be a bad argument, but they will say something like, oh, you believe in three gods. I don't turn around and go, oh, you worship a god with two right hands and a shin.
mhm.
Why? Because I'm meeting them where their energy is at. So again, whenever Muslims do this whole thing of, oh, you insulted our prophet. Yes, after you insulted Jesus, whoever else.
Yeah.
Junior's the perfect example of this. Junior, I genuinely believe, is a plant. Like I'm not just saying it
I
as
mean,
like
he's
part of
from
rhetoric.
Israel, so could definitely be a Mossad plant right
Oh,
there.
100%. I genuinely believe he is because Junior's posting is provocative to both sides. You have Muslims. If you go to Junior's ex, and I don't mean his like ex partner or something. I mean like ex as in Twitter.
Yeah.
You will see Muslims in his comment section literally begging him to stop because he is bringing shame on Allah. He is bringing shame on Islam. He recently posted an atheist's depiction of Jesus like bent over and turned back on
Mhm.
himself,
I
praying to
saw
himself. Even in Islam, that's haram. You can't show an image of any of the prophets or anything else. This is how Junior, in my mind, is 100% a plant.
I mean,
100%.
I can see that. I mean, that the thing
On
is, I've
mine,
watched some of his more political debates on like
I dude, you
Palestine
can't even say
versus
their debates.
uh, uh, on Palestine versus the whole like who should you stand with, Palestine or Israel conflict. And the dude does like I've watched a lot of those debates. I'm gonna tell
hmm
you, I'm gonna shoot everyone here straight. Israel is so bad at PR. They are the worst at defending their own position. They got no one that is good at defending Israel. Like the best guy at defending Israel would probably be Ridvan, and quite frankly, he's not even that great at it. And
But he
yet,
does. He does get those shackles, though.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely gets those shackles.
Yeah.
But that said, Junior was probably one of the worst debates I have ever watched trying to defend Palestine, and it's
Yep.
just given that I could believe he's Mossad.
I
I
again,
say
it's
Mossad plant as a joke. I don't think it's like You could be hired by Walmart for all I care.
Yeah, I'm not even saying who he's a plant from.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just honestly believe that Junior is not actually a Muslim, and I say that with all sincerity, because when you look at some of the stuff he posts, he's bipolar. One minute he's insulting Christians, which again you would kind of expect. And sorry, let me address these comments first.
Yeah.
Unhinged Momo says how wicked they are, and then they say they love Jesus, but they don't. True, my friend, exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Reina forever, Unhinged Momo, exactly, brother, and says, by the way, Isa is not the same as Jesus in the Bible. Correct. It's not.
Yeah.
Even how they get the name Isa is ridiculous. Reina Forever says, love your channel, brother. I can't speak tonight. I subscribed. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're going to see a lot more content like this in the future. Gabe and I are trying to get into YouTube a little bit more full time. So content will be a little bit scarce for the moment, but bear with us. Zach is messaging instead of getting his butt in here. Hasn't been on stream and I don't know how long. And then he says, "How weak a God they have to be afraid to be mocked. Christ said we would be because of him, and we will persevere regardless."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct. But even going back to what we were saying, Zach, is I will not insult Islam unless they insult Christianity. And when you go to my ex, that's what you'll see. The majority of the times where I say something, that could be perceived as insulting or mocking, I will look at that and proudly say yes, because it's in response to this. Because if you're a Muslim and you come and you insult someone else's faith, your own Allah tells you not to do that, because those people will mock Allah in return. So you're being disobedient to your own God. Anyway, we need to get back into this video here. But going back to what I was saying just briefly about Junior, I do just genuinely, I believe he's a plant. I don't know who from, but there's no way that dude's a true Muslim. Like, because even in later things, he ends up saying stupid things about Islam, and then like an hour later, he'll apologize and be like, "I'm sorry, I took the tweet down after brothers corrected me." It's like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Big Tom, good to see you, brother. He says this was a good live from GodLogic. Yeah, I just actually came off GodLogic's live a while ago. There's one tonight. I watched the one we're reacting to now, but we're going through the shorter version. We've done a very good bad at going through the shorter version. We're not even like a minute in.
I don't care, bro. So, I'm not emotional about this, Maj. You know that. I'm not emotional.
The classic Muslim emotion that is filtered into the conversation, and then he himself can't even follow along with it at all. Now, problem that we're having here is this. The conversation about David Wood, if you guys know about the situation where he went on live and talked about dealings with like a 13 or a 15-year-old. The guy comes in and says something about David Wood. One of the Christians responds with Muhammad dealing with a 9-year-old. And then he gets...
Which again, note the order. He comes to Logic and says, "Do you condemn David Wood?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets all up in people's faces, including Logic. And then when someone from the crowd, rightly or wrongly, I'm not going to get into that right now, but rightly or wrongly, points out your prophet, and again, when I say married, I'm only saying this because I'm on YouTube and it's censored, but your prophet Muhammad married a 9-year-old. Why is he getting upset over something that to them is part of Muhammad's actual life, like it's factual, right?
And
Their own
that-
hadith recorded.
and that's
Now
the
the Shia go a different route, I know, but we're primarily dealing with Sunnis right now.
Mhm. And that's the whole thing I always
Good to
kinda
see you,
get
bro.
hung up on. I'm like, why do they get like upset about it at all? Like, there's no reason to be upset about it. Like, the whole reason I bring it up, the reason I solely bring it up, and why I keep punching it in the face of people on X all the time, is because it is meant to show the Westerners, who we intrinsically know deep down inside of us that is wrong. That is not reason to leave Islam, right? If you're sitting there, if you're a Muslim and you're sitting there going, "Wow, I'm wanting to leave Islam because Muhammad married a 9-year-old, or married a 6-year-old and then consummated the marriage when she was 9," right? If you're sitting there thinking that's a reason to leave
Mm-hmm.
Islam, that is, you're not in Islam for a right reason, right? You should reevaluate the reasons why you're actually in Islam,
Mm-hmm.
and then address those arguments. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not an argument against Islam. It is a polemical attack meant to throw off Muslims, similar to the men of Al-Zud. If Islam is true, it doesn't matter that
Mhm.
Muhammad married a 6-year-old. If Islam is true, it doesn't matter that Muhammad got railed or rode on by a whole bunch of tall, thin, slender, very active carnal men
Mm.
who are also Indian. So they were small, but they weren't too small, as the hadith literally states. Um, Either way, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's just not the thing that matters. The reason why you should be sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I shouldn't be in Islam," is because you would say Muhammad is a false prophet. Now, maybe you could say, "Hey, my prophet is a PDF file, and because of that, I have an issue with it." Then maybe you could use your own logical reasoning, but at the same time, it's just that's not like an actual theological reason or even philosophical reason to leave Islam.
Mhm.
And
No, yeah, but let's
Mhm,
elaborate here because LA is a good dude, but I think perhaps maybe he's misunderstood you. You're not saying that's a good reason to still stay in Islam. You're just simply saying that if you, from a Muslim's perspective, if they truly believe that Muhammad is a prophet, he should not. They should not be embarrassed by the fact that he,
mhm.
married a child.
Yeah, the way I would put it is if Islam is true, then there is nothing wrong with child marriage. If
But
Islam is not true,
yeah,
which it's not, then there is everything wrong with child marriage,
yeah,
as
yeah,
literally every other religious group,
yeah.
minus a lot of the pagan cults and stuff, would agree.
Hmm. So
That's
LA is with us now.
yeah,
I just wanted to clarify that up because what we're essentially saying is we completely condemn Muhammad and Aisha's
yeah.
marriage, right? All we're saying is from the Muslim perspective, why get so embarrassed about this? Because here's the reason they get embarrassed. GodLogic points this out. AP, David Wood, IP, all the big dogs in this scene point this out. Most Muslims are of better moral character than Muhammad, and they know it. But because they can't say that, because Muhammad's propped up, as the exemplar of all mankind, they cannot say, "Oh no, I'm better than Muhammad." That's why whenever you press them, and you see this happening on streams, like Nick from Fearless Truth the other day had a guy on, and like he kind of pressed them on, would you give your child to, like an older man or whatever, and the dude hummed and hawed about it like for I don't know how long, but eventually went, well, if the prophet's the example. So he didn't say it, but
He said it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and that's
But
the whole
I,
thing I
I
try to
agree with
show people.
LA. It's 100% a reason to leave the religion because one of the
Yeah,
questions I get asked a lot is, what is it about Islam that would put you off? That's my biggest. I could give you a boat ton more, but at the pure basics, you really want me to examine Muhammad's life up against Jesus. Jesus, who says, if you harm one of these little ones, it would be better for you to have a millstone hung around your neck and cast into the
mhm,
sea, versus Muhammad, who thinks it's okay to mount a 9-year old.
yeah,
Nah. Mm-mm. And
yeah,
you're going to tell me that that's a prophet of God? Get out of here.
yeah. And
Get out
then
of
when
here.
you put it in that context, they're going, "Hey,
Thank you, bro.
this is Islam is holding to this," but then they would turn around and probably say it's corrupting
Hmm.
the scriptures, and that's where you can actually get into the theological
Hmm.
stuff.
Unhinged Mo, I'm in Christian Prince's streams quite a bit. I don't often comment because they're on in the background while I'm doing other things, but I'm there. So you might see me some stage comment, but I'm not an active commenter. But yeah, Christian Prince knows his stuff, especially on Islam. Anyway,
Yeah, I
let's
don't follow Christian Prince too much, but I've watched his stuff.
he's very good on Islam. He's very good on Islam. But anyway, let's get into this.
Gets mad, and then the other Muslim wants to come and fight. So you can't have a conversation and be hypocritical about your own stance. And this is the reason why a lot of these people do not need to be debating. At this point, the energy had shifted and it went all downhill from here. Now let's get back to the guy in the white. He is on his phone doing something. Looks innocent, but what he's doing is
Well, hang on. Let me hear what Life says here, but I'll tell you what he's doing because I watched the full live.
he's setting up for what he's going to do later. All right, now pay
Okay. That may be the case, but originally, whenever you see him there going through his phone, what he's originally doing is he had came up to Logic and he was like, "Hey, look at this." I can't remember now exactly whether he said hadith or tafsir, but either way, he's trying to show Logic this quote, this source from Islam. But
Mhm.
then he hides the actual source from Logic, and Logic presses him and says, "Show me the source." And he finally sees that it's Chat GPT, and Logic basically, dismisses him and says, "Go away and get the actual source." That's why in the background you now see him scrolling through his phone because he can't find the source. Why? Because we all know AI can produce false prompts, it can give false quotes. So at
Yeah.
this particular stage, he is searching for this, tafsir or hadith that doesn't actually exist. Now, you hear Life say there he's setting up for what's about to come, and that is partly true because I didn't pause the screen at this stage to see what this guy kept trying to flash, but he has something written out on text on his phone and he keeps trying to put it in front of the camera. Now, obviously, Logic's wife's not going to allow him to put it in front of the camera, so she keeps trying to put her hand up, move him away. He, time and time again, constantly presses in on her, trying to get close. That is creepy. Remove Muslim, remove Christian. Another man trying to approach another man's wife, uh-uh, don't do it. You're going to get hurt, and you deserve to be hurt.
Attention, here is where he starts to obstruct the view of the camera, getting closer to GodLogic's wife over and over and over again, and she keeps telling him stop doing it. You can even see her hand trying to shoo him away more than enough times.
I agree with you. Brother, step to the side. How many guys agree with you? This guy don't want to talk about the Trinity. He's lying.
Oh,
All right, that's one.
well, I saw what it
Right,
was.
hold on. You trying to say something, Gabe?
Oh yeah, no, I was saying I saw what it was. He was just promoting Twitter.
Right. My Twitter. What a clown. What a clown. That's the reason he thinks it's appropriate to get up close with someone's wife.
Yeah. I honestly I didn't see it. I watched it first on my phone, which is a tiny screen. So I just assumed it was probably some sort of I never actually assumed it was ChatGPT because I don't think they made that clear in this at all.
Oh no,
But
earlier in the stream he
yeah.
was definitely on ChatGPT.
So I was kind of looking at it and I was thinking that all right, maybe it's one of those things where he was just showing a source or something and they're like, "Hey, we're not talking to you yet. Go away."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's like, "I'm just going to keep shoving it in front of the camera." But this is even more, quite frankly, childish and quite frankly, funny enough, Christian behavior. Like it's just more not Christian. Sorry, I read the word Christian right as this is quite frankly enough Islamic behavior or Muslim behavior.
That's what I said earlier because here's the thing, and this is what other people that like JP Uncut did a stream on this too, and he said the same thing. Imagine this was an atheist or something like this. Even an atheist gets warned the first time, please stay back from my wife. An atheist is going to look at that and go, hey, dude, sorry, I'm not trying to do anything
Mhm.
weird with your wife. I was just trying to show this, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's normal behavior. You own up and say, hey, dude, look, apologies. I'm not trying to press it on your wife. I was trying to show the camera, right?
Yep.
You can still look at that and say something like, hey, dude, it's my camera. Don't be pressing it in front of it. I don't want you to do that. Now, the atheist is still probably going to get heated and, whatever, but the atheist is not going to go and disrespect another man's wife. But in Islam, guess what happens? Because women get treated as lesser creatures.
Hmm.
This is exactly what happens. Anyway, let me get a few of these questions.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, Valerie. Christians, make sure you carry red spray paint in church to mark invading attackers so police can identify them. Good idea.
Hmm.
And clarify as non-toxic. Eh, no,
Yeah.
non-toxic, obviously. Love CP and Avery. Yeah, big fans of both of them. I normally am in most of their streams. I just don't comment a lot because when I'm watching other people's streams, I'm normally like trying to write through like a script for my own channel or something like that. But
I can verify that. I'll be commenting and he'll look over and see me comment and he'll be like, "Oh," and then he'll send me a little message in the chat to let me know
yep,
that he's
yep,
watching. So,
yep. Uh, Mario, good to see you. Says intimidating a woman, Muslim tactics. It is
Mhm.
100%. This guy knows what he is doing. Avery is GodLogic on Hinge Mobile. That's
Yeah.
GodLogic.
Avery's the
Um,
guy in the center of the
yeah,
video with the cross.
I'm pointing at the wrong thing here. Hang on. This guy right here.
Yep.
So we'll go back and play this now, but what was something I wanted to address there? Oh, yeah, this. Why is this not coming up? There we go. The Muslim was actually breaking the law by trying to block the camera. Well, yeah, that's true. And he gets worse over time. Like, unfortunately, Logic's live stream broke up multiple times just due to bad signal and stuff. But they also had to. They didn't turn the cameras off. They just pointed it in another direction. But a little bit of a scuffle comes up in a bit, and obviously they had to take that off camera. But thankfully, praise the Lord, there was witnesses there, and that's the thing. Pray for people like GodLogic who goes out and debates these guys because, and I'm speaking from experience here, Gabe. You have a couple of stories to share in a bit as well. But like
Mhm.
when Muslims can't hold their own talking, things turn violent pretty quickly, or threats are made. Even on this channel, dude, my life was threatened. Now, I don't take that seriously because like most of those types of things are just, children commenting. But this is the fruit of Islam. If you cannot hold your own, threaten their life. But
Yeah, let's
Islam's the
say
religion of peace, Gabe.
it's children commenting, but I mean, this dude's acting like a child, and he looks like he's what, 25, somewhere in that ballpark. He,
What, this dude here?
yeah, holding up his little phone, trying to be like,
I
oh,
don't know,
check
dude.
my
I don't
Twitter.
know. He looks pretty old to me. I
Yeah,
would
he
say
looks
30s.
older than me, and I'm
Yeah.
24, so this is why you gotta get. What's that comment say?
I think she's
Ah,
referring to Ursak. I'm not sure what's going on, but
no, I mean, I don't think that's in reference to ours. That
oh, yeah, Zach,
I can't remember the.
don't.
But it was
I know you won't, but don't instantly block them if they're not being threatening or. I normally give if they insult Jesus or anything like that. I normally give them a warning before I will block them, but like I wouldn't instantly block them because then you lose any type of communication with them. But yeah, I've even had to block a few because like the language got incredibly threatening. But anyway, let's go back to this.
This guy don't want to talk about the Trinity. He's loud. He's loud.
All right, that's one.
Until this guy's loud. We totally agree with you. This guy's loud.
That's two.
All right.
Now, can you see here? Logic is scanning around him. He sees how many people are around him, and note how his eyes keep going back to Christina. Because guess what he has to do here? He knows things are escalating. He knows this dude in the white is getting uncomfortably close. They are putting him in a position where it's designed to distract him from preaching the gospel, from refuting Islam. Let me get close to your wife. Let me amp up the temperature to intimidate your wife. Because now, guess what happens? GodLogic's attention is split and he has to protect his wife. And this is an example of a godly man, by the way. He is fully ready to defend his wife, as we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got emotional. So now we got.
That's three.
Mosh, chill, bro. Chill. No, but you're gonna let him talk like that about. You gonna talk about a Christian? I'm talking about David. Look how sensitive. You're a hypocrite, bro. Stop being a hypocrite. And Muhammad said that he slept with Aisha when she was 9. Bro. So if he's bringing that up, you can't hide that. David would confess.
That's four.
Oh,
and
yep.
well, that's
Prophet
perfect time to read
ﷺ
these.
said in a
Yeah,
hadith
Valor was
Qudsi,
just
Allah
talking
will
about
say,
the
Look at my
Day of
ads, bro.
resurrection, O son
Islam,
of
of
Adam.
course.
Hey,
A minor.
well,
He confessed on
you
video.
need water
Why you
too.
mad at me?
If you were talking, bro, they couldn't hear you.
Oh, they couldn't hear me. I'm sorry. I was just saying.
When this is partly the reason I'm switching over to StreamYard is EVMux. Even when I try and balance the audio out, I can't have the video talk and you and me talk at the same time. It just gets drowned out.
That's weird. But no, I was just gonna say what Valor was saying was Valor was just referring to the Russian Revolution.
Yeah.
thing was.
Valerie, I can't remember because a couple of people recently asked to be mods. I can't remember whether you asked to be a mod or not, but if you want to, we can certainly make that happen. Says absolutely, we're trying to bully his wife to set him up. Yes, they were, because this is now where, and we'll see this in a bit if Gabe and I would stop getting so distracted. It's just there's so many points that get raised. You want to address them, but you can't address them all, obviously. But the intent here was they were hoping GodLogic was maybe going to get violent or whatever, so that they could clip and say, "Oh, look at the Christian, beating up a Muslim or whatever." Praise the Lord for someone like GodLogic who keeps his cool. Now he defends his wife and he makes it clear, you go near my wife, I am going to have to defend her. That's what a man should do. But this is where I would say Avery has far more patience than I would. Like I would not be good in that situation. I'm just going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Unhinged Momo says, "Have you tried Restream?" I haven't heard of them, but I think I'm going to go with StreamYard for now. But I will definitely take a look.
StreamYard would probably be better. Because StreamYard's built kind of for having multiple people on and using those URLs, like the little guest URLs, people can come up to call in and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Restream is, maybe they've adjusted it, but back in the day, Restream was more so used for people who were using OBS, so that they could stream to multiple platforms without having to stream.
Can you pull your mic a little bit closer? It's just getting a wee bit hard to hear you.
Yeah, of course. Does that make it better?
That's a lot better. Yep. Cheers.
Perfect.
I agree, Valerie. She says, I can mod for lives if you ever need me. Happy to help whenever possible. Perfect. Valerie, whenever the video is ended, leave a comment on the video. That way I'll be able to see it and be able to make you a mod. I could do it right now. I'm just not great at multitasking. Sack says, we can handle them all because our God is true and living, but all should be laid at the feet of Christ, using purgatory psalms. Yeah. Anyway, let's try and get back in. Yeah. Now, normally, GodLogic wouldn't be in the situation, but his wife was traveling with him, so it's not an ideal situation. But praise the Lord, I think a few of his friends have got through to him that he finally needs to accept security. And on the end of his live stream tonight, he said he's looking into getting security. So praise the Lord for that.
Nobody's mad at you. Okay, but if you're gonna condemn David Wood, then condemn Muhammad.
All right, here. So that's 4 times where Christina was telling him, "Yo, bro, back up. You're doing a little too much. Stop trying to put your phone in my face," and all of that stuff like that. And when you're invading women's space as a man, you already know there's a lot of things that can be perceived. We don't know what you're doing, bro. Stop being weird. So she's telling him to stop doing it. He doesn't care. He's smiling, still putting the camera.
Do you know why he doesn't care? Right? This can look like Christians are just, constantly bashing Muslims. But whenever you look into the history of Islam, whenever you look at even what the Quran says about women, what the Hadith says about women, it's not good. None of it is good. Then in our own personal lives, like Gabe, I know you've got your own stories, but I have been around Muslim men when they're around women. They are creepy. They overstep boundaries all the time. Because guess what? In their religion, women are fair game. Especially if they're unbelieving women.
Yep.
It's all designed. They don't care if they shame an unbelieving woman because they actually think that's their right. And again, I'm using shame because I can't use certain language.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm thinking of certain gangs that were taking place all over the UK and they're still actually happening.
Our prime minister would lock me up for speaking against Islam before he would lock anyone up for those shaming gangs.
Yep.
Well, I guess I could say grapes allowed. Yeah. So anyway.
Yep.
In their face and all that. Like, bro, back up. So he goes away. And then he comes back, and this time he's closer. He's no longer on her left side. Now he's on her right side from my perspective, the perspective of the camera, right? But he's closer. You'll see the phone comes in, and he's way closer. So Logic steps in, and he starts to, bag up. Then he comes back again after being told over and over and over again to get out.
Right. Gonna bring this up because this needs to be talked about because this is what we just said. From my own experience, I have witnessed this. See, whenever you're dealing with Muslim men and there's women around, they will sit as close as possible to them, even if their husband's there. Now, the husband should obviously get up and defend his wife, but what I'm saying to you is they have no boundaries, zero. Does not matter if you tell them 50 times, they will sit there, they will smile creepily at the woman, because let me just be perfectly honest, a lot of the guys that come over here don't speak a lick of English, right? So they come over, they're really creepy beside women, they try and put their arms around them. We have had guys that have been caught trying to literally drag a woman off down like an alleyway and stuff. This is it's not compatible. It's just not compatible with the Western way of life. It's not compatible with any way of life. Let me make that clear. But this is what you are dealing with whenever you deal with guys like this. Now, I know someone's going to come in and say, oh, but he didn't do anything. He didn't touch her. Yes, he did. That's why GodLogic has to move him at this point, because now you just heard Life said he's right beside her and he sticks his hand in front of her now to get his camera. But guess how close he would have to be to even do that?
Mm-hmm.
He is right on her. Like that's inappropriate. He's already been told 5-6 times already, back off, stay away from my wife.
Yeah.
Doesn't listen.
That's another thing too that a lot of people will do is they'll try to be like, "Oh, I'm not in your space. I'm not in your space," and they're just getting really close to you. That's still assault.
You're
Like here in the
about to
United
see
States,
this at the end of the video.
yeah, in the United States, let's put it like this: if you were to sprint up to me, that would be assault, right?
It's
Like, let's
perceived
say
threat.
you have a knife
Uh-huh.
and you're running at me, and I pull out my gun and shoot you. That is still fully legal, like self-defense.
Of course
Because
it is,
you
'cause
could
it's
say,
perceived
I
threat.
wasn't gonna stab you with the knife.
Mhm.
Guess what? I don't know that.
Yep.
Guess what? You're running at me. You're assaulting me in that. And that's how, like, so within even the standard of
Yeah.
like just the secular legal system we've got here in the United States, you cannot invade someone's private space. If that's running at them, if that's standing too close to them that they feel uncomfortable, you cannot just be like, "Oh, I'm not touching you, not touching you, not touching you," which is what a lot of people seem to think, and it's just it's a really stupid, and I'm saying stupid here with the fullest intent of stupid. It is
Yep.
really stupid to think that that is how things work. It's just not how things work.
It's also intentional, which is why you're going to see at the end of the video they are trying to provoke logic into hitting them. You're going to see that. Valerie says your prime minister is a Fabian socialist. Is a lot worse than that, but I can't say certain things over here. So, on Hens Momo, did you know Islamic countries are #1 for searching porn? I said the wrong word. Corn. Pakistan #1. It's renamed Cornstan. Yeah. Well, think about it. Within Islamic countries where Sharia law is practiced, they would punish anyone doing any type of like sexual activity, right? So these Muslim men are so deprived, for lack of a better word. Of course, they're going to go to degenerate means like this. There is certain commentaries that I have read where, whilst it's not considered good, it's also not outlawed, but there is use of certain animals for yeah. Play it.
Okay. There you go.
Yes,
I don't have the sound recorded, but
yeah, it still came out good. That is the David Wood's favorite goat. Have you got a name for your goat, Gabe?
no, I just call it my autographed goat. I got D Wood on the log it's standing on, AP on the side, and then Eric from who is the Your Brother in Christ channel.
Nice.
They all went ahead and signed my goat for me. So.
Well, Chad, if you want to, I don't know if Gabe's down for this, but by the end of the stream, if you want to put in a few suggestions for the name of Gabe's goat, we'll consider them.
I'll consider the names for the goat because as of now, I just call it my goat.
My goat. Maybe that can be his name. My goat.
My goat, yeah.
My goat.
Or M-O goat. M-O apostrophe space goat.
Yeah, yeah. It's because there are cards everywhere. Christianity has touched women and children rise in status. Correct. Freedom
Mhm.
is in Christ. Chains in Allah. Correct.
Yeah, and the other
Unhinged
thing
Momo. Yep.
as to why,
Without
like, they would
lies,
be the
Islam
number
dies.
without as to why they would be, like, the number 1 corn watchers also is they have a completely different understanding of, like, good and evil than what
Oh yeah,
we do.
yeah.
Like, from the Christian standpoint, Jesus says, "Even if you look at a woman and lust for her, you are committing adultery with her in your heart."
Hmm.
That is, like I think a lot of people take very lightly that, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's not the same as, have like" but it's
It's
not the same
primarily
as doing adultery, but it's the same as, like, you're still sinning against God
well,
in that person.
100%, because the reason why Jesus teaches on this is because the Pharisees were known for being externally righteous. The Pharisees thought sins only touched what you did externally. So, like, the inward life didn't matter. Hence why Jesus, calls them whitewashed tombs. He
Mhm.
says, you're concerned with washing the outside of the cup, but not the inside. So, Jesus teaches them and shows them no, sin begins in the heart and it works its way outward.
Yep.
So, it's very clear. It's very clear when you look at humanity that the Christian understanding of why people do what they do is the correct understanding, right?
Mhm.
Because we understand that sin starts in the heart, it works its way outwards.
Yep.
So whenever you have a group of people that think they follow God but don't they no more follow God than they follow the man in the moon. As God would say, these people are close to me with their lips but far away with their heart, right?
Mhm.
You're going to have people that live depraved lives. That's just what we should expect. So again, I'm going to reiterate, I don't actually hate Muslims. I want them to come to know the Lord. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to deal with Muslims the way that they treat Christians. And I don't mean in regards to like the
Yeah.
abuse. I mean like in words. Like sometimes you have to use very harsh language because sometimes it's enough to shock a Muslim out of, hey, why did you say that? Then when you point out, well, you just insulted my Lord. So
Mhm.
um yeah, I think they're all talking about the corn conversation.
Yeah.
um
Still hard to,
yep, yep,
believe
yep.
that corn stand.
uh 80,000 little boys in Heaven. Yeah, it's all carnal, my friend. Yep. Restream is a good program. I use it and highly would recommend you looking into it just to see if it would suit you better than Stream Brother. Yeah,
Streamyard
yeah,
is
sure. I'll,
it?
I'll I'll definitely take a look in. Yeah, yeah. Um, yep. No worries. Sorry, folks. Just trying to catch up with some of these comments. Valerie says, "I'll say it for you." That's why you're here, Valerie. That's why you're here. And by the way, I've got no issues saying it. I'm just making fun of the fact that in the UK, I can face jail time for saying certain things, as where like you can have
Doing.
someone stabbed over here by like certain gangs and they'll get a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
Um, Hypocrites truly deprived. Um, yeah, it's a messed up religion, all right. Her buck was named Texas Hold. Nice. Valerie, thank you
Okay.
very much. I appreciate that. It really does help, folks. If you are watching and you're commenting, we're trying to build a little platform around here. Gabe's going to have his own channel coming up very soon, so we'll
Yep.
direct you there as well. But, folks, let me just say the likes are not for anything like vanity or anything. Like I couldn't care. If likes didn't do anything, I wouldn't even ask for them. It's just likes helps YouTube look at a stream and a video and go, oh, people are interested in this. Let's show it to more people. So
Likes,
if
comments,
yep, all of
retention,
it really helps, especially whenever the
and
videos
shares.
like the live streams over as well. If you comment after the live streams over, even if it's just something like hey, helps the algorithm a ton.
Mm.
Zach says because our hearts are perpetual idol factories inclined to cosmic treason against the holy God. Correct.
We got John Calvin
Um,
in the chat.
what?
We've got John Calvin in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. God bless you, brother. Thanks for coming on tonight. Anytime, my friend. I do enjoy these streams. You're going to see more of them in the future. My government is truly depraved. I will say that with 100% honesty. And
Which is why we should be praying for it and asking that the Lord
And
keep them.
praying that those that are in power should be removed. Because here's the thing, we're kind of similar to you guys in the US in the sense that, you know, obviously you guys have the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yeah.
It's not really likely that any other party is ever going to get voted in. It just doesn't have the numbers.
Mhm.
We're very similar over here. We either have Labour or we have the Conservatives. Are there other political parties? Yes, they just don't have anywhere near of a look in. However, we do have a party that's gaining a lot of traction, and it is called Reform UK. They get hit with all sorts of labels. They're called racist. They're called this, that, and the other. They're not. If you look into what they actually believe, they believe that the UK is a Christian nation. It should remain Christian. It is very tough on illegals coming into the country. So Reform UK is.
All right.
I just missed Sachs. Calvin, Quote, and Sproul merged into one solitary statement.
Yep.
Government is always a mixture of opportunists, transactionalists, and traders. Well said. Well said. Anyway, let's get through this video.
Out of the way, bro. Get away from my wife. And what happened? Logic goes to grab the phone, right? Because you're close to his wife. Move. And the phone drops to the ground. And then we'll see what happens after that.
If she was 6 and 5, I would sign a contract when she is of age, because when she is of age, of sound mind, body, understanding, physical
Hey,
maturity.
don't cover them out. Don't cover. Hey, brother, just really quick, Michelle. Look, yeah, I'm gonna need you to step away from my wife, please. No. Out of respect, step from my wife. No.
Now, did you hear that?
Mhm.
Logic says to him, I'm going to need you to step away from my wife. No. I'm standing here. No, you're
Mhm.
not. Get lost. You don't need to stand near my wife. You get away from her right now.
Yeah.
I am not going to say too much on camera because I need to be careful. I don't have the patience of GodLogic. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
She's asking. Hey, brother, I don't want to get physical. I don't want to get physical. Please step from my wife. Please step from my wife. Please step from my wife. Yeah, please step from my wife. 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 He's too close. He's too close.
So what? He didn't touch her.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be moved.
Oh.
He's gonna have to
Here,
be moved.
pause it.
Yep.
Now he's saying, I didn't touch her. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Okay. And then you got, why'd you even bring her, bro? Like, why are you bringing your wife if it's like not okay for us to be like touching her and stuff, you know? Like, that's the Muslim mindset, my guys.
You caught exactly where I was going to stop anyway, because that is it. Look how the blame. It's not, oh, I'm encroaching upon your wife's territory or her personal space. It's, why did you bring her? You brought her, so therefore she's free to be touched. She could, and I'm not going to say much more because I'll get heated on this part. But that is the Muslim mindset. Well, she's here.
Mhm.
I can now do stuff. That's the Muslim mindset, and it. Oh, Gabe, there's a really good name for your goat here.
Goatmez?
Selena Gomez.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Do female goats have the horns? I don't remember.
I don't think
Let me look that
Muslims
up.
care. Anyway, let's get back into this. But yeah, GodLogic's a lot more
Hell.
patience than I do.
Simple as that. I sure did. I sure did. So you harass my wife, you will be touched, homie.
Not in the Al Zut sense.
Yes, he wouldn't want to do that. He's a Christian. We have
Yeah.
standards and principles
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
founded on scriptures, of course.
No,
That would prevent any al-zutting.
no, I'm not going to go back to this, dude, because this is like 18 minutes. We're only at 5 minutes something. But before we got into Logic leaving this guy here,
Mhm.
did you catch what this guy said? He says, I would sign a marriage contract for my daughter to marry an
Mhm.
older man when she's of sound age, mind, and body. Notice how, and you can go check, and I don't mean you specifically, Gabe, I mean in general, you can go check Logic's live stream. This dude repeatedly refused to answer Logic's question whenever he said, what is sound age, mind, and body?
Yeah.
Why?
So is 6 years old sound, age, mind, and body?
Well, if you're Daniel,
Apparently, according to
you're-
Muhammad.
well, if you're Daniel Hikikachu, you can go younger than that.
Oh, yes.
And by the way, it's not just Daniel Hikikachu, he's just a modern proponent of it. There are
Mhm.
Shia books out there, and I'm not going to go into the detail of them, but they prescribe how a man can do things with an infant as long as he does not,
Tear.
yes, or go inside, if you catch our drift.
Mhm.
Now, if we were on Rumble or something like that, we could explain it a little bit more in detail. But these things exist. Muslims will deny them. Some Muslims aren't even aware of them because, like, it's very rare you'll get Muslims that actually like see a lot of their own books. They're just taught by their sheikhs. They're taught, in their mosques or whatever.
Mhm.
But in Islamic jurisprudence, certain things like this are brought up so that the man will not sin by sleeping with an underaged. Well, I guess by their definition of underage, that's you know. Oh, I'm having to be very careful with my words.
Arbitrary.
Yep.
Anyway,
So right now,
you'll be moved.
right now,
Straight up.
he didn't touch your wife. He went to put.
Yeah, he's shoulder to shoulder with my wife, covering my.
He was putting. A
He will
camera in
not
front
be.
of the
He.
camera.
Yeah.
He was a camera. in front of-
Check him. Check him.
Aye.
Check your brother.
Aye. Now, catch this.
Mhm.
Catch this. Note what that sheikh just said. He said he was not touching your wife. He was putting a camera, or he was putting the phone in front of the camera. Now, Gabe, would that sheikh, if now I'm assuming he's married because he did say he had children earlier. But what I'm saying to you is, would he allow another man to stand shoulder to shoulder with his wife?
No, not even for a moment.
No. Would he allow another man to even shake his wife's hand?
It depends on how liberal he is.
He's not liberal. Let me put it that way.
Okay, well then no.
The answer, yeah, bingo. The answer is no. So you notice how when it comes to their wives, don't breathe near them, don't look near them, don't stand shoulder to shoulder to them. Oh, but see when it's your wife, an unbelieving woman. No, he was just putting the phone in front of the camera. No big deal. This is the double standard that I hate with them. I detest it. Detest it. Gabe, I don't know, lad. There's been no other goat names yet other than Selena Gomez, and it's
I know,
gaining
I'm-
strength here.
I'm putting a list on here real quick. I need more goat names, guys.
Get those goat names in the chat.
Or else I will check him. Simple as that.
Every single
Good.
person.
Good.
I saw
Good.
Any single female.
Good. So I'm
regardless of her faith.
good. So I'm gonna hold my
Right
brothers
now,
in check. Hold your brothers in
Right
check.
now, you did not hold him in check.
Oh yeah, I did.
No, you
I
didn't.
did.
You didn't. You said you don't condemn what he said.
Now, I'm going to go back and play this in a minute because
Mhm.
I didn't mean to pause there, but hopefully that didn't go back too far. Now, this sheikh once again says to GodLogic, you didn't get your brother in check. GodLogic told him to stand away from the other Muslim. He says, back up, I have this, right? That's in the live stream. People can go and check that. It's all recorded. This is again what I hate what Muslims do. They will say things that are untrue, even though it's literally recorded and people can play it back. And when it is played back to them, they just act like it never happened anyway. They're like, no, it didn't. But note then what the sheikh considers as keeping your brother in check. You didn't condemn him.
Yep.
That's got nothing to do with keeping your brother in check. What's got keeping your brother to do in check is GodLogic tells the other Christian, don't get involved. It's fine. I'll deal with him, and he removes the guy. That is keeping your brother in check. What did this sheikh do? He stands back looking on like a confused goat.
Mm-hmm. Confused goat. That's a name I can put down for it. Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, note this because again, this is another lie that I've seen on Muslim channels as well. Is they say that Avery slapped the phone out of his hand. He didn't. Avery goes to grab the phone, but it falls. So
yeah, you can tell that with how he responds afterwards when he's
yeah,
looking
because he
down
immediately
for
picks it up and goes to hand it back to the guy. Avery's not interested in trying to take the phone from him completely. He's keeping it out of sight. Now, this may be a bit too slow, but this see.
All right. I heard nothing.
What?
It's going to be any moment now. I heard what the lady say. No, he didn't because he's
Yeah.
holding people
Let
talking.
me go up a little bit in speed because this is going to be a lot of robotic noise until we actually get to it.
Mhm.
You said you don't condemn what he said.
See how he went to grab it?
Yeah.
Look, picks it up and immediately goes to give it back to him. Now, if you were trying to slap that to the ground, would you pick it up, Gabe?
Not immediately like that. You can see his grip is trying to grab it.
Well, you
And
can, but the thing is, like, if I was acting out of anger and I slap something out of someone's hand, now obviously I condemn that. Don't do that. But what I'm saying to you is, if I was interested in just slapping it out of his hand, I wouldn't be interested in picking it up. I would make him pick it up because the idea, if you're intending to slap it out of someone's hand, it's just to remove it. GodLogic wasn't trying to slap it out of his hand; he went to grab it.
Mhm.
Let's
Well,
see. Let's see. Let's try and get through some of these comments as well. Uh,
all right. Are there any other goat names in there?
no other goat names that I can see just yet. Zach says about your question with the horns though is they can have horns usually bred out though. There you go.
Yeah, I actually looked that up and saw that.
Yep.
Thank you, Zach.
Avery has the patience of a saint. That he does. He certainly does. He really does. Hey brother, welcome. Goat name, you like it? Valerie says, I was glad he stood up for his wife. Muslims only respect strength. Yes, and this is exactly. I did an interview recently with a friend of mine for his podcast, and I said the same thing. It's one of the questions his audience asked was, how do you witness to Muslims? And I said, well, it's there's two main ways you can do it, and it really depends on the Muslim you're witnessing to. If you're dealing with a Western convert, so like someone like me and Gabe, we've lived in the West all our life, we convert
Mhm.
to Islam, you can be a lot more chilled and a lot more reasonable. You can reason from their Quran, you can reason from the Bible, you can witness that way. When you're dealing with a non-Western Muslim, so i.e. someone like an Arab, they only respect things that are a little bit more aggressive. So I'm not suggesting you go out, when you're getting ready to throw hands with them. But what I'm saying to you is, they throw a little jab your way, you throw one back. That's not. People confuse the statement from First Peter where it says, always be ready to give a reason for the hope that is within you. First, sanctify Christ as Lord in your heart, and they say that we have to be peaceable and gentle, but that's gentle has nothing to do with this idea, of being weak or a walkover or yeah, you just insult my Lord, I'll not say boo about it. That's got nothing to do with it. Most Muslims respect that little bit of pushback. They might not like it, but they expect they view that as being more, oh, you actually care about your religion. No more goat names yet. Aren't they permitted to kill a man for touching their female family members unwanted? Uh
I think there's
depends what you
more
mean
to
by
it than that.
permitted. But also no, they would be more than likely just to get a lashing. There's a respectful distance which doesn't bother women 100%. When men move within that distance, women get uncomfortable instantly. 100%, Valerie, 100%. And look, I even said this at the beginning too, Valerie, because I'm not sure you were in it at this stage. I even said to Gabe, like at a certain point, because we're only watching the clip where things get heated. The full live stream in the beginning, it's mainly just Avery and this Sheikh. But where things start to get heated, notice even here in the clip, it's badly paused, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Muslims all around Logic. He has to be aware that there's people behind his back, but there's also men in the crowd getting uncomfortably close to his wife. At this point, his attention is distracted because they know what they're doing. Oh, there's a good name for you, Gabe.
Joe Baden.
Baden.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll throw that on the list. We'll see.
You can, Valerie, if I could pin this comment constantly to a stream, I would. Doormat Christianity is not Christianity. Bingo.
Mhm.
Bingo. Yep. And they were surrounding for intimidation 100%. Bingo. I love this. I love when we get more of an active crowd. Sometimes we have streams, we've got our regulars and they're there and they're great, but I love when we get more of an active crowd. It's good. let's get back into this so we're not streaming for hours on end.
Cut that out. Cut that out. Chill out. No, I'm gonna give it to him. You gonna be cool, bro? You gonna be cool? You gonna be cool? Okay. If you're not gonna be cool, hold on. Just really quick. Really quick. You need to chill, bro. All right. So it's his phone. It's his phone. I'm giving it to him. I'll give it to him. Okay. Who recorded it? Who recorded it? All right.
Let me deal with it.
Yeah, deal with him, bro. He needs to get him away from my wife, bro.
All right, and that is the exchange that happened, which caused the coward to call the police. Now, woe is you. Now you're the victim when you continuously is coming by this dude's wife.
This happens a lot in Speaker's Corner over in England as well. There is nothing but Muslims surrounding Christian dudes. There's fights that break out all the time. And the issue is, whenever you listen to people like Bob from Speaker's Corner, Chris from Speaker's Corner, they all point out the same thing. And again, I know people are going to look at it and go, oh yeah, but that's the Christian. Of course they're going to say that. But they quite literally have it on camera. You see the Muslim throw the first punch, and then there's a gang up. And then guess what happens? Because there's police naturally in Speaker's Park anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaker's Corner, sorry, I'm confusing Speaker's Corner with Balboa Park. What do the police do? They move the Christians on. They press the Christians. Why? Because you're the peaceable Christians. You'll just take it and walk away. You'll not kick up a fuss. If we do something with the Muslims, well, they might attack us.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's just, being a peace officer 101. Like, they're going to remove not the problematic thing, but the easiest way to bring people back.
Yep.
Like, they do it in the same with police. Like, let's put it like this. If let's say I am, that's not a good analogy. Let's say you're at a church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a mob of Muslims was to show up, and there's only like 3 Christians in the church. They'd probably straight up remove the Christians rather than remove the Muslims. Why? Because then it's easier. Or you see it a lot in political riots, right?
Yep.
You'll have two counter protesting movements, right? And one will blatantly attack the other, and then the cops will remove the smaller one. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if they were the ones getting attacked, why? Because it's easier to arrest and remove 12 people than it is to arrest and remove 1,200 people.
Yep.
That's just the fact behind it. That's why they're gonna do it.
Look, you can say this about most Western countries, but I'm going to freely speak about it over here in the UK and even Ireland, because for those of you maybe newer watching, I have dual citizenship. I have British and Irish passports. So, built for speed. Good to see you, my friend. He says least resistant choice. Yep, bingo. But our governments are truly cowardly, because we have got a lot of court cases on here at the moment, between Christians and illegal immigrants, and a lot of the illegal immigrants are also Muslim, and the court records in the UK are accessible. They're public, meaning I don't know what it's like in America, but we can get access to court
sometimes
records.
similar here in the States.
Okay, fair enough. You can see the sentences for the same dispute or crime or whatever way you want to put it. You can see the blessings to you as well, my friend. Good to see you. You're very welcome here. I like the logo, Batman. Good. You can see what the native person, the Irish person, the British person gets. We will get a harsher punishment. So whether it's a fine, jail time, whatever, you compare that to the person that is here illegally, slap on the wrist.
Yeah, we have a similar
Slap on the
thing
wrist.
depending on where you're at in the United States. So, like in the United States, if you're in a more liberal area, because you have to keep in mind the United States is multiple times larger than the UK in its totality.
Dude, massively.
So, like one state is the size of Ireland, if not bigger. Like one of our smaller states.
It's worse than that. Just let me get the facts on this while you're talking.
Yeah. But so depending on which area or region or county you're in, and I'm going all the way down to county. It's not a matter of just state, province at this point. It's county. If you're in a very liberal county, even in a very solid conservative bright red state, they still oftentimes let people out of you'll still have judges help people who are here illegally. get not arrested or avoid being arrested by ICE. They'll
Yep.
give them more lenient, you know, trials because if they know if they put too much of sorry, hold on. Let me do this. I can somewhat hear myself. I changed my audio thing and I wanted to be able to hear myself, but it's just
Yep.
distracting me if I'm being honest. But no, they will give a more lenient trial to an illegal immigrant because when they do that, it could it prevents light being shined on them for when you have guys like ICE who are wandering around. Because the guys like ICE are currently targeting criminals. They're not
Mhm.
necessarily if you just showed up here illegally, they don't really care about you as much as they care about
Mhm.
actual illegal like criminals. Someone who showed up with fentanyl and is trying to drug up the whole area, someone who beat people, did something like that. Other obscene like trafficking. Like, I mean, it gets really bad.
Yep.
So judges will literally go, I'm not going to report on that. I'm not going to give you your true sentence on this because if I do, then ICE will take you out of the country.
Yep.
And it gets that bad.
Oh yeah.
So,
Um, Zach says we call the poor goat Baala, but I think that's a little bit insulting to the poor goat.
Bala,
Yeah.
I mean, that works. I mean, I'll add it to the list. We'll see. We can maybe put a
Mhm.
poll up at the end and see what everyone says.
Yeah, or we might continue it into another stream as well. But just
Yeah.
while you were talking
Mhm.
there, Gabe, I had to look it up. My country fits into Texas 49 times.
Well, Texas is one of our biggest states. I believe
Yeah, but
Texas is bigger than Alaska.
I know,
It
but
might not be.
think about that. Like one of your states, my country fits into 49 times over.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that's
that shows you something.
yeah. The United States is huge. There's no doubt about that.
It is. And again, look, everything's proportionate. So, like, when I live here, it's not like I look around my country and go, wow, this place is so small. It's not. Like, it takes a fair while to get through the country. But, like, if you contrast that to somewhere like America, oh, yeah, like, you could travel Ireland,
I
in a
go
day.
on highway trips on a regular basis that would take me all the way across Ireland multiple times
Oh,
over.
yeah. Oh, for sure. For
So,
sure. Anyway, let's get back into this because we're nearing the 2 hour mark and I don't have a hard out, but I don't want to be here forever either. So,
yeah.
Life, and they're telling you to back up. She told you to back up multiple times. Now he's telling you to back up, and you came.
I'm the greatest
Another
teacher ever.
ad.
That sounds
Man,
a bit exaggerated.
I just closed the
we
biggest
should
deal of
have
the
just,
year.
you
It was
know,
in
talked while the ad was going.
back.
do you know what I need to do, bro? So on my personal account, I have premium because like I do not want to
Mhm.
sit through ads. I'm only using my layman account here because again because Muslims are very familiar with making what is wrong with me with making threats. I am trying to remove a lot of my public info, so I'm
Mhm.
certainly not using my personal account. So, folks, apologies for you guys having to sit through the ads. I will try and skip them where necessary.
Hey, at least you're getting the skippable ads.
True, true.
And lied and told the police that he slapped my hand. Dude, he's clearly trying to grab the phone to get you away from his wife, and then he's wanted to give the phone back or whatever. But bro, he is not attacking you, he's not hitting you. He tried to grab the phone because you keep doing weird stuff around his wife. Simple as that.
Not weird to the Muslim man mentality though, but like that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Like that's where it's not compatible with how we
Yeah.
live in the West. It's just not
I
because they don't see that as being they're like, well, what's wrong with that? But if it comes near one of their wives, oh, watch how quickly they would react.
Mhm.
Now,
They might get their wife to write a very long-winded letter on their dry erase board.
yep, yep, I'll eat that one. Now I am going to skip this part, not because it's not important. You people can go check it out for yourself. I'm sure most of you maybe already seen this. This is just the police, and obviously they only capture what's been said to GodLogic because it's his channel. Now
Mhm.
he's not in any type of trouble. He just unfortunately has to go to court on March alongside this other Muslim, and it'll be up to the judge to decide how the damages to the phone are to be handled because, as multiple people pointed out, with the video evidence of him being so close to GodLogic's wife, it is likely that the judge is probably just going to say something along the lines of, you were told, back up, all this sort of stuff, it's likely that Logic will just probably have to end up paying for phone repairs. But it's such a waste out of the man's time that he has to do this, because what they were hoping was that GodLogic was going to react in a violent manner. Now, how do I know that? Well, this is why I want to jump to this point, because this is after GodLogic is finished speaking to the police. Look what happens now whenever GodLogic's. So notice how GodLogic here, and we're not at it yet, but he goes back to continue to debate this guy. This shows you the type of dude GodLogic is. He loves the Lord. He wants to set Muslims free from, you know, this wicked religion they're in. So he goes back to the debate. I'm going to play this briefly because watch where the sheikh lies. But what I ultimately want you to see is, do you remember the guy in the black hood earlier, whether he's called an ass, whatever his name
Mhm.
was? He is now going to try to provoke GodLogic further because he wants GodLogic to do something physical. So you're going to see this. This is how we know this was intended as a setup. But anyway, let's watch this.
I don't want to talk to you if you're going to keep doing that. If you're going to do that. You lost my
Do
respect.
what did I do?
You lie and
Did I
say that
lie?
I provoked it. So
I lie?
was he not
got
was
too
he not
close. He got too close. He did what he did over there.
so he
overnight.
provoked it, correct?
Yes.
Answer the question, Michelle.
It's
He was
frozen
there.
on.
See how this guy
that's
is?
probably
How
just
far
No, that's not where
their
he
stream probably just cut out a little bit.
This is not on my end. This is
All right.
GodLogic stream, so Life has obviously clipped this out, but this was all the technical difficulties that they were having at the time.
Yeah,
was.
I kind
He
of
was
realized
right
that.
here. That's where he was.
No,
Was he
you
not?
You pushed him to your wife.
Get out.
Catch that?
You pushed him into your wife.
Yeah.
Where the action was that, and apparently that's pushing into your wife.
No. What? Hang on. Sorry, Gabe. 2 seconds.
Oh, you're good.
me and technology here. Let me just replay this.
He was.
No.
Was he not?
You pushed him to your wife.
Get
Pushed him to your wife. Now,
That
did anybody see that on camera? Now, not just from this clip, right? Anybody that watched the live stream, GodLogic pushed him towards his wife? No, he did not.
Yeah, and that also kind of goes to show how, again, Muslims there is so much detail when someone is accusing you of something. There is a lot of stuff you can kind of extract from that.
Yeah.
How do they view women if they're viewing that you can that a godly Christian man, a man who is standing up debating you on a multitude of occasions, if they're sitting there going, this godly Christian man, he would push his wife. Right? What does that make you think? How does that show how they view women?
Exactly.
It doesn't show that they're viewing women very highly. It doesn't show that they're viewing Christian
they
men
don't.
very highly, and it's
'Cause
because
they don't.
again they don't. Yeah,
They think Christian men treat their wives the way that they treat their wives.
hmm
That's the simple fact of it. Valerie says, I don't think he ever actually made contact with the guy's hand. He didn't. It was all the phone. And even if he did, it was very clearly it was a light slap. Like there was no physical violence at all.
I'll put it
Bill
like
for
this.
Speed says, good analysis, brother. Thank you very much. And he also says, no, he moved him away. Correct. Again, and this is what we said, just for those of you that are joining us, because our numbers are going up. Praise the Lord. But this is what I said at the beginning when I was talking to Gabe. Maybe this part was off camera, Gabe. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
This is what I said, where this is what truly annoys me in the Muslim mentality. It is, should something be a plain fact, we all just witnessed it. The
Mhm.
Muslim mentality is, let me change this in my head to somewhat protect my brother.
Yeah. No, we
you,
covered
you
that
pushed,
earlier.
you pushed him towards your wife. No, he didn't. It's on camera. And
Mhm.
that's why GodLogic at this point says, that's it. I am done. I am not speaking to you. You're a liar. Because he is. He truly, truly is. Bill for Speed also says he didn't shove him or push him. Correct, my
Yeah,
friend.
he just kind of stepped in between.
Yeah. Sco says Gary the Goat. There's another one for you, Gabe.
I already added that to the list.
Yep.
Saw that one right away and was like, that's a good one.
Anytime you see a person wearing a mask, it's a political setup. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
definitely a
that's-
few. There's definitely a few guys in a mask in the crowd. I know, I can say that much.
Yeah, but I'll put it like this also. If that was, hitting or attacking the guy, Wow. Wow, I've been assaulted way too many times and should probably, have taken some people to court.
Yep.
But
Well, we're going to come on to that now in a minute because we're near done with this video because I'm not going to play too much more because I want to get to some of your stories and some of mine, and we'll deal with some audience questions as well. I'm going to play this, then Gabe, I have to run to the bathroom very briefly, so you'll be left to tell the audience your story.
all right, that sounds good.
Now, let me just skip ahead to this part because this is where Avery now basically just says you're a liar. I'm not continuing the conversation with you. Yeah, this is it here. So watch this.
Wants to come and says that some guy is on the phone to try to talk to Logic.
Man.
Malik wants
Maz, don't
No.
talk to me, man.
It's not just some guy. Check who he just said, Gabe.
That's
Malik. Malik
Mhm.
the doxer wants to talk to GodLogic.
Mm.
So this Anas guy, his intentions are not good.
Mhm.
Get out my face, Maz.
Malik wants to
You're
talk
you're
to you,
fake. Get your fake stuff off my face, bro.
Malik wants to talk to you.
Get out my face, bro. Get away from me, Maz.
Malik's talking to you.
Maz, can you step away from me, please?
So look at this. GodLogic is removing himself. He's walking away. He constantly has to tell him, get away from me, stay away from me. Because by the way, GodLogic's wife is still with him.
Mhm.
Maz, can you step away from me, please? Thank you.
Your personal space.
Thank you. Step away
I'm
from
not
me,
in your
Maz.
personal space. I'm
Please
just
step away from
following you subtly from, behind like a creepy stalker type. Oh,
Not even
nothing to
subtly.
do.
Not even subtly. Watch what this guy says again. I can't work out whether he's saying a mass or an ass or whatever his name is, but he's being an ass. That's what I'll say. But
Mhm.
watch him. He will say to GodLogic something. I'll just let it play so I don't put words in his mouth. Hang on.
You see how they're following? He's following me. You see this?
We're in a public space, bro. We're in a public space.
Oh, you're a
Yep.
public
So
figure,
if
bro.
I feel like I gotta defend myself after moving around, that's what it is.
What'd you say, Emily?
This is what it is. Stop following me. Please stop following me. Please stop following me. Please stop following me.
What are you gonna do if I follow you?
Catch
Oh,
that?
what are you gonna do? I'll tell you
What?
what I'd do if you follow me.
What are you going to do? What's that saying? Do something.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep following you until you do something. He just witnessed the police didn't do anything. They give him a citation and said, you're going to have a day in court.
Mhm.
That's not what they wanted. They want
Yep.
violence, but they're going to try and make sure that GodLogic starts it. Not starts it, but you know what I mean? Throws the first. Gabe, I need
Yeah.
to run to the bathroom very quickly so you're alone with the audience. Have fun.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, no, I'll tell you what would happen if you followed me. Not actually as much as you might be thinking. You might be thinking, oh, Gabe's thinking about, pulling out the pew pew. No, I wouldn't do that just for someone following me. I'd personally just go straight to a police station and see if they follow me there. And then if they do, then, there you go. If I then leave the police station and they're gone, sweet. If they're there, then I'd probably end up having to, call the cops and try to get rid of them. At that point, as long as they're remaining peaceful, you could easily just, get some sort of. For Avery, it probably wouldn't be worth it, but you could, if they were like someone in your area, you could get a, what's that thing called? It's a order from the court that says you have to stay within a radius away from them. You can't be too close to the person. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I can't remember the name of it. But you can get that if that became like a consistent issue. And then if they did show up next to you or over at an event and they were shoving themselves into your area knowingly, you could then get them arrested and thrown in jail for a while. If it was someone who was hostile and I was, let's say, there with my wife, it would not be good for the Muslim man there. Restraining order, yes, thank you, Sam. That is exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, I would first try to go for something like that, get a restraining order on them, be like, yo, this person has been following me around. They're acting all creepy and stalky. They're connecting with these guys who are also trying to like creepily release my information and stuff. You could easily find a judge who's gonna issue a restraining order for all that. On top of that, if let's say if he was then to be like, up in the face, it would not end up good. And what's the violent outcome? The violent outcome is, one of them's going down. Someone's getting hit. And obviously that's kind of what the Muslims want, but at the same
Someone's getting
time,
hit.
oh yeah, no. I mean, if it's me and my wife and someone's harassing us and
Yeah.
they're getting physical, they're getting hit. I'll
Yep.
fully put it out there. You follow me around. Right now, I'm a single Pringle. Follow me around. I'll take the hit. I'll take the whooping or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to use even slightly more vulgar language. I try
Yeah.
to restrain my tongue, but
Yep.
I'll take the beating on my own. But if you put a wife, or let's say I have a girlfriend, a fiance, or a wife around me, you try to do something, I will take you down. There's no point in where you're not getting taken down.
Yep. Sorry, folks, if I missed some of the comments. I was out there for a second. I just see we have someone comment here. I watched the whole live. Yep, the Muslims kept egging on GodLogic attacking David Wood. They did indeed. Yep, they were
Mhm.
setting it up because what they wanted to do was provoke GodLogic. Because here's the thing, and I said this earlier too: remove the Christian bias, right? Now, we're obviously going to get Muslims that say, oh, you guys aren't unbiased, right? And I would say to a degree, yeah, you're correct. We're not completely unbiased. But one of the things I do a lot is I've been doing it in some other people's channels. You're going to see those videos come out this year. I have been moderating a lot of public debates recently. Some of them have involved atheists, some of them involve Christians and Muslims. In that position, I put myself in a place where I am only here to do one job. I don't care whether the point stings as a Christian. If it's a fair point, you're not going to hear a peep from me. If someone's in the stream and one of the debaters, is like being abusive or whatever, even if it's on the Christian side, I am going to call that out because my Lord calls me to be a fair judge, a consistent judge, to judge with right standards. You don't get that when it comes to the Muslims. You just don't. No, not
No.
all Muslims. I will say there's definitely a few. I've at least spoke to a few where I could say they are reasonable people, right? We obviously greatly disagree on doctrine or idea of theology, and I would wish them to leave the cult that they are in. So this is by no means me saying all Muslims, but sadly it is the large proportion of them. They do not seek to be fair. It's not in them. So they were 100% egging GodLogic on 100%. Not me. After I warn you more than twice, then I perceive you as a threat, and I will, neutralize said threat, especially while my wife is with me. Yep, and you are 100%. You are well within your rights. Well within your rights.
Don't know if I'd grab the hole puncher right away, but
Well,
start
I,
with something.
I tell you, bro. Like,
You might have to.
there's the situations like this, right? You are responsible for your wife.
Yep.
If I'm there, like you said earlier, Gabe, by myself, I might be a little bit more lenient. I might be a little bit more, you're just mouthing off. If my wife's there and you're making threatening moves towards her, you're acting weird around her, and I perceive that her life could be potentially in danger, I ain't
Mhm.
Mr. Nice Guy. There could be
Yeah.
50 Muslims and you jump me and kick me to death. Uh, Sorry, YouTube. I meant, I'm really
Well,
bad.
video games.
Yeah, yeah. In
You
Minecraft,
pick things.
I lost,
Minecraft.
I lost a heart in Minecraft. One of these days, bro, I'm going to be off this censored platform. But anyway, I don't care about me. I'm not acting Mr. Macho saying I'm going to kick 50 dudes' butts and nothing
Oh
else.
no, 50 days. Even if you got the
Yeah,
magical pew pew, you ain't getting out of
yeah,
that.
yeah. But am I protecting my wife and getting her out of there? Oh, you bet your bottom dollar I am. It's not even a question. Um, Valerie says Muslims and Marxists have the same tactics. They provoke, and your reaction is their action. You can't back down. You have to be willing to engage through the levels toe to toe, not one step back. Amen. Amen. And this
Yeah,
is
it's not
why.
even just Marxists too. Like, yeah, those are two groups with similar tactics, but that's like it's a very common political tactic.
Mhm.
And I'm saying political because I see it all the time in politics. I don't see it as much in religion
Yeah.
aside from just Islam. Like
Mhm.
you can have Buddhists, and I've been watching a lot of Buddhist and Hindu versus Christian
Yep.
debates,
Yep.
and they never end up nearly as bad as what you see with like a Christian versus a Muslim. Like
Hmm.
Muslims will intentionally, especially if it's out in public, they will invoke and try to provoke you
Of
to
course,
do something
because what
like
they want is twofold. They want the victim mentality. Oh, he threw the first punch, but what they
Mhm.
also want is they want something clippable, right?
Freedom's
Because
strong.
exactly, but what they want is also something clippable, which is why they had God Logic in the situation they did. They wanted him to feel so intimidated, not for himself, but for his wife. They wanted him to throw the first punch because guess what they would have did with that? It would have been all over YouTube. God Logic attacks innocent Muslim. God Logic beats up innocent Muslim. God Logic, whatever it is. Because guess what they're going
Mhm.
to say? What Christians out there are there who condemn this? Do you ever notice whenever a Muslim saying something, it always be like, "What Christian condemns this? What Christian condemns this?" Uh,
Yeah,
what
show
what
the
what?
latest terrorist attack. Which Muslim condemns this? And
The,
there
the,
are they
that,
will, like, some of them will, but only if they have, like, another out that they can. Like, a lot of the Western ones, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I condemn that." And it's like, "Why do you condemn it?"
but dude, here's the thing too, though, because I've seen a lot of this recently on X as well. You've seen a couple of people like Jack the Muslim metaphysician say things like, he'll condemn, you know say Hamas or whatever, because then he'll say, oh, they're not true Muslims. Well, guess what? That's BS, because whenever I look at the sources, whenever I look at the Quran, the Hadith, the tafsirs, it would seem to me that Hamas and other groups like that are actually leading a more consistent Muslim lifestyle.
Mhm.
Whenever you tell me all this nonsense about, oh, peace and, to me my religion, to you yours, mm-mm, that's incredibly contextual, because if you're going to say that's the case, are you then going to condemn Muhammad whenever he did actions that go away from that? To me my religion, to you your religion. There's a reason why those ayah of the surah were given at that part in Muhammad's life. He wasn't in the majority, he was in the minority. What do we see
Mm.
whenever Muhammad gains an army, when he comes to political power? Oh, it's no longer to me my religion, to you yours.
Mhm.
Silly,
Yeah,
silly,
and
silly.
that's the way Muslims have kind of always operated, though, is they've always mirrored that, and that formula works largely.
Yeah,
But either way, I mean,
it's all
that's
posturing.
yeah, it is all posturing, but I mean, that's there was a whole point I had illustrated in my head, but it just left me.
Oh,
Oh man,
I
that's
probably
gonna
put you off.
bother me. But never mind. I can't bring it back. There's for whatever reason, it's just
I'm
gone. It's
sure. I'm sure
blank.
by the time we go to end, you'll
We'll
maybe
talk about
remember. But we've been streaming so far for about 2 hours 11 minutes. I'm going to take it to about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So we've got another good few minutes left yet. So, Gabe, you had a couple of, well, maybe not a couple, I don't know how many, but there was a couple of things you wanted to relate personally.
it.
But before you do that, just let me say this, folks. This has been one of our most interactive live streams. So, for all you new people and a lot of you who are making the stream for the first time, welcome. We really do welcome you. You're going to see a lot more content from both Gabe and I this year.
Yeah. Mhm.
But also, thank you for making this one of the more fun live streams, because I enjoy live streams even if I'm just talking to myself. But it is so nice whenever you've got an audience and they're interacting. But let me say this, because I know we are coming into a sphere where there's a lot, there's a lot bigger fish in the pond. You've got people like David Wood, GodLogic, Avery, IP. When those guys go live, and maybe we're live at the same time, we completely know and understand that you guys are going to be over there checking out their stream. We actually would prefer you do that anyway, because they are going to teach you a lot more than Gabe and I are going to,
Yeah.
until we get into it more full time, Gabe, because we're not going to put down our knowledge either. But those guys are certainly the big dogs. Go support them. They are doing far more of God's work than Gabe and I currently are. They are putting a dent in Islam for sure. But whenever they're not streaming and you see us streaming, please do hop over. Please support us. We really do appreciate it. Um, and yeah, thank you very much. Gabe, you can go now with your things. Just let me
Oop.
read this very quickly. Oh, sorry, I missed. Romans 8 says, top of the evening. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Um, Zach says it's my first time here. Zach, you've been missing as a co-host for I don't know how long. Get your butt back. Um, God bless you, brother. Thank you for streaming tonight. Have a warm, blessed night. I am subscribed. Thank you, my friend. I really do appreciate that. You'll see more of us. Um, Oh, forgive me, my friend. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but you said thank you
Absolutely.
first time. You're very very welcome. Look forward to engaging with you a lot more. But anyway, Gabe, we've got about another 15ish minutes if you want to give us some of your personal stories.
Yeah, I mean, most of my personal stories just are generally in a similar realm where a lot of times, so there are some times where obviously if you're going out to a mosque to, speak with Muslims and try to interact with them, a lot of the times you're standing out there and one person bothers to talk to you because I'm not running up to people trying to get in their face. I
Yeah.
just kind of stand there and I'll talk to them. I'll present myself and be like, yo, if you want to have a conversation. And then if they do, they'll stick around. We'll have a conversation. Otherwise, they move on.
Hmm.
So there are some times where it's just absolutely nothing happens. It's one person, you show up, you talk, whatever. But then there are other times where I'll be sitting down and I will be having a conversation with a couple people. And when you're having that conversation with a couple people, what will happen is a lot of the older Muslims they'll turn and they'll see you're having that conversation with them and they'll see you have the Bible, you'll have a Quran, you'll be working through it with them
Hmm.
and they'll see that and they will get instant for whatever reason, they get intimidated and upset. They're thinking you're going to rip that person away from Islam.
Yeah,
If one
I think.
conversation, by the way, just as an aside point, if one
Mhm.
conversation with a Muslim is enough to rip them away from Islam,
Yeah.
and that's how you feel about your religion is not very strong. If a Muslim came to my church and stood out in front of my church and was talking to the members of my congregation, I would not care and be afraid that, oh no, they're going to all leave Christianity because of this
Hmm.
one conversation with this Muslim. Would
Yep.
never even think that.
Especially if your church teaches the congregation well, because the
Mhm.
majority of people may not know the ins and the outs of Islam, but they know more than enough to just not only disprove it, but they hopefully know their own scripture enough not to be fooled by like silly arguments. Like
Yeah.
again, because I know Gabe and I are ready for this. We're excited to do it, but we're going to do it when our streaming platforms and stuff are more set up. But we know we are going to get those troll calls from Muslims where it's like, how many gods died on the cross? How many chickens are there? Like, these
There's
are dumb.
10,000 errors in the Bible.
Yeah, like they're dumb arguments and they're easily tore apart. That's why the
Mhm.
majority of people that do these call-in streams, once they've parroted their belief and it gets answered, they'll just move on to the next one because they're not actually interested in hearing the answer. They're just hoping they're going to stump you.
Yeah. But no, the point I was going to bring up to get back to
Hmm.
those stories, what will happen a lot of times is I'll be standing there talking with them, and they will get intimidated, and they will all start to swarm. All of a sudden, it goes from me talking to two or three guys, and now all of a sudden there's like 12 of them surrounding me. Happens on a regular basis. You'll sometimes, if they're really old, sometimes you'll even. I have a really funny story where a little old lady came up and was really upset. She was in one of those little
Just a
moped
Muslim lady.
things. Yes,
Hmm.
and she was so offended that I was sitting there talking with the other Muslims in the area, that she, instead of, addressing me and addressing any of my claims against Islam or claims for Christianity, instead of addressing anything, she
Hmm.
picks up her phone, she shoves it in my face, and then she starts driving this little moped thing all around looking for my car, recording everyone's license plates, being like, I've got your license plate. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, you missed my car. So thank goodness. But no, but, like, that stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
It even gets so bad where you'll be sitting on the sidewalk. So, I was sitting with a couple guys, and we were just standing outside, Bible in hand, having conversations with Muslims. They
Hmm.
called the cops on us. Cops showed up because they said we had a gun and we're gonna shoot up the mosque. That's not something that you should take lightly, by the
No.
way. I wanna make that very clear. If a Muslim calls the cops and says, "Hey, these guys have a gun, they're gonna shoot up our mosque," the cops are going there thinking, "These guys have a gun, they're dangerous, they're gonna shoot up a mosque, we cannot let that happen." It is the same standard that would happen if you said that there is a bomb in our that someone left a bomb threat at our church.
Hmm.
The cops are gonna rush there.
Hmm.
But we get the cops, they show up, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they see like 3 or 4 of us Christian dudes just standing out there holding Bibles, and they're like, "Where's the guns?" And then we luckily did get to talk to the cops, and we had a wonderful conversation with them, and maybe hopefully got some of them to go back to church and give Christianity another shot.
Hmm.
Either way, that could have been the cops showing up and just shooting someone because we held a Bible in our hand and it looked like a gun from some angle, right? Or it looked
If
like it was a
even,
gun case or something.
yeah.
Like that is so I want everyone to know if you are going to step out and stand in front of a mosque, that is something that you do have to,
And
face
again,
off with and
a
present.
lot of times that will just be a way to remove you as well, though. But
Yep.
it's just a false claim to remove you.
Yeah, and they do want to do that. Now, luckily in that exact instance, it was actually I fully believe God's hand was on that event at that
Yep.
time because instead the cops they showed up. We had our conversation with them, which actually brought more Muslims over to us because now Muslims are like, "Oh, the cops are here.
What's
What's
going
going
on?
on?"
Yep.
So they all swarm up. We're all having conversation, bringing up Bible verses, every the general our testimony and why we stand as Christians and why we go to church, why we believe in God, specifically the triune God, Jesus, the
Mhm.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
And the reason and we got that, but it didn't end there. We also got to go into the mosque and sit down and have a private conversation with the imam,
Yeah.
which was an interesting conversation on its own because he did not know anything about Islam. As far as he was aware, the only thing he cared about was respect, man. Like, the stereotype of the high
Yep.
as a kite hippie. Dude, it's all about respect, man. That's what the imam was like.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there like,
I'm surprised you didn't just get the one God narrative.
no, he did not care. He was like, "We need you to just respect us, man." And we're like, we're standing on the corner of a street on the sidewalk right now. What more what more respect do you want? And
Well, here's the thing.
he
Not,
had like
not
keep in
to bring
mind
it
it
up.
was also like 4 or 5 Christians versus like
Mm.
12 Muslims. Like
Yeah.
it's the imam and all of his students. Like all these guys and these guys are jumping in and they're shoving things in your face and you're still refuting all their sources and
Hmm.
still actually having to articulate the Christian faith against
Yeah.
them. Like it was I'll put it like this. It was epic. That one
Yep.
was one of my more epic
Hmm.
times of going to a mosque.
And what I was going to say there too is just because I want to get to some of these comments too, but is
Mhm.
whenever a Muslim will say something like, "Oh, well, we just want respect," I have respect for you as a human being. You're made in the image of God.
Mhm.
But my religion nowhere teaches me to respect your false religion.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I shouldn't have respect for a false religion. I
Mhm.
shouldn't have respect for teachings that lead people away from the one true God, that lead people to an eternity of hellfire. I should have zero respect for that. And that's where I get annoyed sometimes at Christians. Because, Gabe, maybe you haven't had a lot of this. Maybe you have. But on some videos too, I even get Christians coming along and being like, oh, you should be a lot more gentle with them. You should tell them this, that, and the other. And it's like, go you and set up a YouTube channel. Go you do it your way. Don't come and tell me how to do it. Like, unless I'm truly doing something sinful, don't come and tell me how to interact with people and tell me that I
Mhm.
should have respect for Islam because it's part of the Abrahamic line. That's a lie. Islam does not continue the Abrahamic line in any sense. And whenever you get people that tell you, oh, but Ishmael, there's zero historical evidence that shows that Ishmael has anything to do with Islam. Nothing. It's false. V, welcome, my friend. He says it's an honor to tune into you guys live. You're part of your journeys. Also, do you guys have a video sharing your testimony? Not recorded yet, my friend, but yes, I think I saw Zach here say it as well. Say that it is throughout our streams in different parts, but we will indeed get that recorded someday. Valerie, I
I
brought
don't
your
have
comment up.
a Oh,
Sorry, go
sorry. I
ahead.
was just
Oh
gonna
no,
say I don't have a video on it, but I do have an article on it. It's
awesome.
trinityapologetics.com. Why I am who I am. You just
Yep.
search that there, you'll
You
find
you can
a
also pop
summary.
that in the chat too if you want, Gabe. Valerie, I popped this up earlier. You named Andrew Wilson, Jay Dyer, Dr. J Smith, made by Jim Bob. Quranic Endgame are my favorites. Nice, some heavy hitters there. I've heard of Quranic Endgame, but I don't actually know who it is. And then she says your stream is more fun though. Well, We appreciate it. We've got a lot more. These reaction streams that we do to other people's videos, we're only doing those at the moment because they're just easy for us to do while we're dealing with upgrades and stuff. But we're gonna start getting into a lot more of our own stuff, like Gabe will not tell them what it is yet, but we've actually came up with a problem for Muslims whenever they love
Mhm.
to say to us, that we can't count. We count three and one very wrongly. Well, we've got a wee bit of a problem for Muslims that's going to be coming very, very, very soon. So keep your eyes tuned for
Indeed.
that. Um, Valerie also says Surah 90, Ayah 3, begotten of Allah. It's a total defeater of Islam. Yep, yep. The Quran's just a walking mess. Like it really, really is.
Mhm.
Um, yep, tells us to tear down their high places actually, but laws, yep, well, we don't. When it comes to the laws of the land or the law of God, I know what I go by.
Based.
Christianity is the
Romans 8
only.
shaman
Yep,
based. That's a
yep,
good
yep,
take.
yep.
Stop giving it to the modern rabbinic Jews.
It's got nothing to do with actual Judaism.
No,
Zero.
it's
Duffman, good to see you, my friend. Based on how I see kid gloves going in Europe, I don't think that is a viable strategy with Islam. It is not. It 100% is not. You're very correct. Valerie also says it takes every tactic. Yep, 100%. Like this again, I know we've said it multiple times in the stream. Gabe and I are quite ecumenical in the sense that so like I'm not here. I know we've got differences within Christianity, like that's fine. But at the end of the day, whether you are a Lutheran, a Presbyterian, and a Roman Catholic, and Eastern Orthodox, you bow to the Lord Jesus Christ.
I like how you put Lutheran first. That makes me feel special.
Sorry, Lutheran, I meant last. Anyway, but what I was
Hey,
going to
save
say
the
is,
best for last.
well, yeah, they're in the middle then. Um, anyway, what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't come on and do the whole ecumenical thing. We don't have any issues. We're all just believers. No, there are big issues, but I am not going to attack fellow brothers and sisters in Christ when we have an enemy at the gate like Islam. Not a chance. So what you're going to see in this channel is you're not going to see weak Christianity. You're not going to see this meek and mild, oh, this just all hold hands and sing kumbaya with the Jews, the Muslims, the Hindus, everything. No,
Yeah.
no, you will not see that here. Gabe and I are not GodLogic. We are not AP. We're not David Wood. We do have our own style. We love those guys. We learn a lot from those guys. But Gabe and I also have our own personalities, and we want to help those of you that are watching our streams. Now, like I say, at the minute, we're only kind of reacting to stuff at the minute, but time is coming very, very soon where Gabe and I will be putting out our own teachings, our own, when I say our own teachings, I don't mean like we have just invented them. They're historic Christian teachings. But what I mean is we have got our own arguments that we would use against Islam. Some
Mhm.
things that the bigger channels aren't even using because they know they already have like a good,
A solid argument. They've
yeah,
got good
good,
foundation that many
yep,
people are building off of.
yeah,
Like, think
exactly.
the
And
Islamic dilemma.
you don't
Everyone has their own Islamic dilemma now.
exactly, and you don't need to weaken that. Like you don't want to go over to a GodLogic stream where he suddenly, hops off the Islamic dilemma. It's not that he can't, but why would he when it's so successful? But
Mhm.
we also have our own, so we're going to have a lot more of that coming up. So again, thank you tonight, guys. We have a good number watching across all four platforms. Thank you for being very interactive in the comments. We love it. We hope to see more of it. And Gabe, we're going to try and get like a set schedule because we had one last year and it fell apart because I just got so busy with other projects. So we're going to try and get in a set schedule. That way, you guys can hopefully make a few more of them. So Valerie says, y'all watch Quranic Endgame videos. The real translation of Quran is a Trinitarian book originally written within Syriac, deliberately misinterpreted.
Mm.
Nice.
I have
I'm going to
not
have to
watched
go.
that video, but
Do you know who
sounds like
Quranic
something I
Endgame is?
tend to say and throw. I don't actually know what chronic endgame is.
I know. I've heard him because I also watch a couple of Eastern Orthodox guys, Fearless Truth, who's Nick,
Mhm.
and a guy called Bear the Image. Both dudes are unreal. Like they do great call-in streams. We're going to do something similar, but it's not. We're not going to be trying to replicate other people's streams because
Yeah.
things just get watered down at that stage. And if you're not being true to who you are, there's no point even entering
Mhm.
into the conversation because you're not really going to be adding anything. Like
Yeah,
I
like
want both Gabe and I, and Gabe will put it in his own words here now anyway, but we honestly want to bring what we have studied, what we have learned to you guys to help equip you guys, not because we're any smarter than you, but because we can add into an already growing list of problems for Islam. And if you can learn all these arguments across us, IP, AP, David Wood, GodLogic, Kingdom of Christ will continue to grow, continue to
mhm.
grow.
Yeah, and, like, when I'm doing YouTube and stuff, it's not just gonna be, anti-Islam stuff. It's like, that'll be
Mine
part of
will
it,
for a bit,
but
but not always.
mine will primarily be on focused on theology and correcting people's theology. Not meaning, like, I'm gonna sit down and be one of those watchdog guys, but when I see, like, like a trope, like, "All sin is equal," or whatever, and, like, that's a trope. I just had a
Genuine
debate with
correction.
Yeah, I had a debate with a young lady on that where she was saying openly on a platform, she's like, "Listen, all sin is equal, so I can't condemn the homosexual more than I can condemn the liar." And I'm like, "Wait, have you not read the New Testament?" I'm
Mhm.
like, "There are sins that like, there's sin that is unforgivable. The rejection of Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Like,
the
you reject Christ, that is unforgivable. You die
you
in a
just
state of rejection, you're not going to heaven." You have
you just have to read the
other
Old Testament
more
plainly as well.
Yeah, I'm like, you have Paul writes on that, certain sins. I don't know if I can list them all out here, but they are of a certain nature that, would also obfuscate you from being able to make it to heaven, right?
Mhm,
So it's like you can't be in a state of those sins. You have to make sure that you are repentant and
mhm,
that you are not participating in those sins.
yeah,
So, like, I would be breaking something like that down in a
mhm,
video where I'm like, "Hey, see this trope everywhere. Let's correct that,"
yeah,
because most of my mission personally is to strengthen
yeah,
the faith of others, and that requires having strong theology.
yeah,
If you have this very shallow, tropey theology, you're not gonna.
no. And again, it's not even one you see people repeating anymore, praise the Lord, but, like, you will always see this whole thing, Christianity is a relationship, not a religion. False.
Yeah, it's a
False
religion.
dichotomy. It's a false dichotomy.
Mhm.
Anyway, Duffman says, if you, as C.S. Lewis says, have a mere Christianity stance, I have no problem with you. It's the LDS, the JW cults, the corrupt basic Christian theology that I have issue with. Yeah.
Oh,
And
no, don't
again,
worry. We'll be bashing those guys over the head
with
plenty.
a Bible, with a Bible. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, I figured that was just contextually
Oh yeah, yeah,
understood,
yeah.
but
But just for censorship's sake, with a Bible. But
yes.
yeah, Duffman, like, as I say, my stance isn't even so much like I'd probably be a little bit further than Lewis with mere Christianity. I don't mean further as in an agreement with him. I think there are genuine things within Christendom where we can look at it and go, okay, we have issues here. We need to talk about those. But
Mhm.
for me, those are in-house debates. I don't fight with other Christians online about those things. I want to learn from them. I hope they can perhaps learn from me. And again, that's not with this idea of this all just end up saying, kumbaya, you have your way, I have my way. No, no.
Mhm.
Someone's right, someone's wrong, but those are in house issues. I will not do what the Muslims are doing, which Muslims this year alone, like we said, 2026 was going to be bad for them. 2025 was brutal. 2026 already, we're not even through January. You have Muslims online takfiring one another.
Mhm.
This one's not a Muslim. That one's not a Muslim.
Yep.
That is how badly the Dawa scene has broke down. It's only going to get worse.
Yep.
Romans 8. I don't know,
Good night,
bro.
man.
I promise, folks, I am just on the cherry Pepsi. I haven't had anything stronger. Romans 8 says, good night, Kings. Good night, Romans 8. Good to see you, bro. Um, this has been a great reaction video news. Awesome fun. Valerie, thank you so much. We really do
Thank you, Valley.
appreciate kind comments because, as I say, in this channel, we normally get nothing but Muslims in the comments slagging. Um,
Hmm,
Quranic endgame are scholars in the ancient languages and literature of the Middle East. Oh, okay.
okay. I'd
I
be
need to go
interested
and
to
check
see what
this
they've
out.
got to say then.
Yep. And yep, Valerie's with you. Blaspheming the Holy Spirit is the unforgivable sin,
Yep.
100%.
And rejection of
Abominations,
who
correct.
Christ
Yep.
is. Yep.
Sin equals miss the mark. We all fall short of the glory of God. Repentance equals turning away from sin. Bingo.
Yep.
Bingo. Fathery with the fire here.
Indeed.
There is objective truth and there is also objective error. Correct.
Indeed.
Anyway, folks, Gabe and I are going to wrap up for tonight because,
Yep.
again, for those of you that are new, welcome. I am living over, well, I'm not going to be too forward with where I am, but let's just say I am UK, Ireland. And
Lives on the street corner of the London Tower clock thing that you see
that's correct.
everywhere.
Yep, that's
Yep.
correct. That's exactly where I live. So Muslims all go there. But the only reason I'm bringing that up is just to let you know is it is 4 a.m. my time, so I really do need to go and get
Dang.
some form of sleep. We sometimes stream much later, but that was a little shorter video tonight. And look, I could say there's a lot more we could say, which is true. But after a while, it just becomes beating a dead horse. So but folks, we will be back in the future. Bear with us for the moment because Gabe's trying to get set up with his own channel. He's
Yep.
got a couple of things to plug here before we go.
Oh.
I am currently trying to write another book. It's nowhere near finished. Won't be finished for probably another year or two, but I'm currently writing it, so that's distracting me. I also love I said that because I saw Valerie's I love sheeple. I also have a Substack you can check me out on. I have got a group of writers that write articles for me over there. So you can go check that out. It's just a layman apologist. And you can find me on X, Threads, Instagram, all under the same handle. But this year, you will see a lot more content coming from us on the YouTube channel. Gabe very kindly has also made me a website. You can go check that out, thelaymanapologist.com. There is a merch store in there as well. If you want to pick up some cool swag, go get it. You'll hopefully see that on the channel once we get monetized because then you can display it. But for now, we're just directing people there. And very finally, before Gabe plugs his stuff, if you do appreciate anything we do, we've got a backlog of videos and stuff you can go and watch. But if you want to give financially, if the Lord lays that on your heart, there is a QR code in the bottom left hand. I think it's on the left hand for them, Gabe, isn't it? Yeah, stream. Yeah.
It'll be the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, and there's also a link there beside it as well. If you want to give, you can. It can be a one-off gift, or you can become a monthly member. We already have a few monthly members subscribing to the channel. That money will be put back into the channel / given to Gabe and the other co-hosts for their time as well. So as we go forward in the future, we'll be building up not just so the layman apologist is me, but it is also not me. We are all apologists in the sense of being laity. And that is my goal. I want to see more Christians realize that they can and are equipped to defend the faith. Now, I obviously don't mean, go out and have formal debates. Don't try and enter,
Formal
become
debate unless you're
clergy.
ready for it.
Yeah. Don't try and become clergy or anything by being a lay apologist. That's not going to work. Like you need formal training. But in our day-to-day lives where we witness to our family or friends or co-workers, we are all lay apologists. So the layman apologist exists to help equip you and show you that you can do what I do. Because to be honest, it's really not hard. It really is just knowing this inside and out. Know your Bible. Very simple. Anyway, Gabe, you have a couple of things to plug, and then we will call it an evening.
Yeah, I was just going to go ahead and plug trinityapologetics.com. I've got a little email list you can sign up for on there for any updates. I haven't been posting a lot of formal articles as of recent. I've been focused more so on trying to work on other tools and resources for people, like Trinity Bible. That'll be out here. Oh, I'm going to just set the deadline a little bit farther by the end of the month. By the time I get the YouTube channel up, I should also have Trinity Bible up.
That could be a joint stream then. Announcement and yeah.
That would make a good little stream / video thing.
Unveiling of it.
Yeah. So be ready for that. There's a lot packed in there. Major updates project name, secret name. It's not secret now. I'm making it public and have made it public. It's Nephilim because it's supposed to be a giant update. That's not quite so giant. It's called Goliath, but you get it.
Okay. But yeah, folks, we really appreciate it. Gabe and I love this type of stuff. And we thank you for all your great comments tonight. We got a lot of really cool comments from you guys, a lot of love shown, a lot of support shown. So thank you. Something as simple as that really does help us continue to do what we do. Because, as I say, when you run a YouTube channel or an X account or whatever, and you engage with Islam, you are going to get a lot of demonic filth thrown your way.
Mhm.
So your encouragement, saints, is what keeps us going. Continue to pray for us. And as we will continue to pray for you, because you're not just viewers. We hope to get to know you as best you can through the internet, but we honestly hope to get to know you the more and more we have a little community here. So once again, thank you all. We're going to bid you good night now, but please do like and comment on the stream after it's over. It really does help. Thank you, folks. Anyway, before we go, Valerie says Justin Martyr dialogue with Trifo is a great apologetic, free as an audiobook on YouTube. Yes.
I didn't know it had an audiobook on YouTube. That's good audiobook.
I only go for audiobooks whenever it's like a really out of print book and like I cannot get it for cheap. But yes, dialogue
There you go.
Dialogue with Trifo, good read. Go get it or get it in audiobook, whatever works. But yeah, get stuck into the Bible, get stuck into the fathers, learn your faith, love the Lord, and keep praising. Keep praising the Lord. Christ is King, folks. Good night. Sam, thanks for the comment. Great stream. See you. And Valerie also says good night to Sam as well. Good chat, folks. Good night. God bless.
Good night, everyone. God bless.